How's it going, everybody? I am Kyle from Fantasy Fort Studios, and we are back with another session, episode 36 of Adventures of Middle-earth, our D&D 5e campaign set in the world of Middle-earth, taking place between the years of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. We are joined by all of our wonderful players today, and so without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce each and every one of them, starting, as always, with Valineth.
Hello, everyone. I am Dain, or Forge here at Fantasy Forge Studios, and I play the character Valineth, son of Morbith. He is a high elf of Rivendell. He is a scholar, meaning he's not a warrior per se, but more of a healer. And he is looking forward to some dance party action today, which will be nice. So that's one of his many, maybe not necessarily talents, but something he enjoys. It's just a nice little two-step here and there. So it's good.
Exactly. Our next character is Dom.
Hey everybody, I'm that Toby Australian, or Dominic. I play Theodric Grimborn. He is our Rohan Slayer. Generally with his mighty steed Baradorok, who is not here with us right now for some reason. Yeah, he's kind of Theodric's kind of the tank of the party. He's got a really high AC. And he's kind of the brick wall of the group. And yeah. Happy to see where things go tonight.
Perfect. And we have our next character, Jess.
Hello, I am SpiderFan33 in Twitch chat, or I play Jessamine Sackful Baggins. She's a hobbit. She is what is commonly known as a treasure hunter, which means she has sticky fingers and is prone to getting into places a little bit stealthily, because maybe she should actually be there. And she likes cooking, and her cutlery knows ever all the cutlery is hers. Just she's just borrowing it. She's gonna bring it back, surely.
Sure, of course, and they all mean a lot to her, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like fine silverware. Yeah.
Yeah, the company is dining fine while they are traveling with Jess on the road. It is 5-star cuisine every single night. Eating all kinds of delicious food. If ever
Hobbit
I'd be so
standards.
lucky.
Yeah.
Have we all been eating second breakfast and like 11Zs and things like this entire time?
I mean,
That's a
if you
good
want
question.
like the 6-meal Hobbit meal plan, I'm sure we can.
We've only
sort
been traveling with
something
her for a month, yet I've doubled my weight. What's going on?
Such is the life of a Hobbit of the Shire. It's good. And
Good
finally,
life.
it's a good life. It's a good life. Hence, why are you out in Wilderland? Interesting. And finally, we have our last character, Feanor.
Hi guys, Feanor is our Mirkwood Slayer. He kind of just wants this to be over. He still thinks it's all kind of like a dream. But yeah, I'm back here this week. Let's not die. Which is very funny considering I started throwing up at the end of last session. Feanor did, not me. Let's hope that's not just the end of him. Very sad.
Let's hope. And so, without further ado, I am Kyle. I am the lore master here, playing both with and against these players, but most importantly, helping to weave together this story that our company of adventurers are building in the world of Middle-earth. Currently, a little bit of a recap. The company, they are on a quest to find Dindy Brandybuck, a caravan of led by a hobbit, some Brelanders, and some Beornings. They, at the end of their previous fellowship phase, Shadrach the dog had come to the company with a letter attached to his collar from Dodie Brandybuck, as we all remember, who is the curator of the Easterly Inn. He has not heard anything from his brother, Dindy, in quite some time, and it fears that he has gotten himself lost somewhere between the Misty Mountains and the Easterly Inn in Wilderland. And so, the group, taking up the call to adventure, decided to leave from Roscabel, making their way all the way up the Anduin, fighting off some wargs, some goblins, crossing the Old Ford, which is basically a toll bridge kept by the Beornings. and making their way across towards the high pass of the Misty Mountains. They started making their way up into the foothills, to which they started realizing why the Misty Mountains have the name the Misty Mountains, especially during the season. In the early mornings, a dense fog comes and sweeps over the entirety of the land. Yeah, and it makes it very difficult to see. Eerie things happen in the dark, and it's quite scary. However, they did eventually, after a little bit more travel, find their way into an old ruin, which they have now realized is the remnants of the old city of Haycomb, which was basically a city or township that was on the main trading route between the regions of Eriador and Rovinion, which is basically divided by the Misty Mountains, and it was the people of the north who had settled there, and yeah, they all had some good conversations about talks of shadows, some good dreams, about their homes in the Shire, and eventually they heard the sound of ponies on the wind. And they eventually were able to complete their night of rest, and upon the morning, when the fog faded and the fog lifted from the morning, they found themselves transported 299 years in the past, specifically basically finding themselves in this town of Haycomb, which they, walking around trying to find Baradorok and Nim, discovered that they were being watched by an individual who goes by the name Calum. After some scrutinization and some investigation, they realized that this is Grimm, the very one who founded the Grimm line of the Woodmen, who currently live in Mountain Hall. And so the adventurers decided, after not some very good role play. Well, no, it was really good role play, but not so good roles. They would untrustedly. They decided to help Grimm and Thalissa, who is basically one of the servants of the house that Grimm is basically the heir to. The owners of the rulers of Haycomb. He plans to escape with her so he can marry her, so he doesn't have to marry a suitor, which his father is currently out of town. That was another thing that before this session, everybody. He's currently out of town, currently in Rohan, talking to the Sons of Errol, trying to get them to provide suitors for his son. So they're currently gone, and because of that, Grimm has been basically under surveillance during his time in the city. He is also known to have an anger streak in him too, and so everybody's very wary of him as well. And so, with that being the case, the group, they decided to go out and to figure out how are we going to help them escape, realizing basically what is at stake here. If they don't help Grimm, they realize, hey, it's a good idea to be able to help him. And so they did. They went to go investigate the Falling Goat Inn, which is the main inn in this thoroughfare in this town, and they discovered a bard named Geb who sang them a nice song, the barkeep as well, and they decided to put a plan into motion to create a distraction, essentially. If anything, just to stump the guards up or to take the attention away from the gate. Valineth, along with Geb, are going to provide entertainment, a celebration of life, as the group had put it, for the entire town at 9 p.m. that night out in front of the Falling Goat. And with that being the case, they decided to go investigate docks and also the gatehouse to see what is a good way to be able to help Calum and Thalissa escape. And first, they made their way over to the docks, to which they discovered by grinding up some Shadowthorn and putting it in alcohol. It pretty much has the effects of basically blackout, making people go to sleep. It's used, as it was mentioned, in helping people with insomnia to be able to fall asleep. And so that's one of the plans to do so. And so after that, they discovered that there was some kind of weakness in the palisade and the river and all kinds of things. And then making their way to the gate, they found all the contraptions, the guard rotations, and kind of memorized those to figure out the best means to be able to escape. Which brought us back to making their way to the inn, and not to the barn where Calum and Thalissa basically waited. Hopefully, the group didn't turn them in, which they didn't. to potentially make an escape attempt. And it was at this point that Feanor, overcome by the sudden urge to, well, release his bowels, well, not bowels, his innards, goes down on all fours and begins to spew all over. I'm going to have Jess, Diedrich, and Valinith. I'm going to have the three of you make perception checks for me.
Perception? What?
I got a 15.
Starting strong.
Yeah, here's something for you two to know. We actually got some surprisingly good rolls last session.
That's
It
pretty
was
cool.
Dane and I were
Especially
just like,
Theodric.
"What?"
Especially Theodric. 16 for Valinith for perception.
I managed to schmooze everybody I needed to talk to last session.
That's good.
Slay. Love that for you.
Right?
Feanor, I am going to have you make a Constitution saving throw for me. As you just let loose. Well, the things that you are feeling in this current moment, Feanor, is you walk in feeling absolutely fine, and then all of a sudden, as you look upon Caleb's face and he tells you about the barding that he has taken off and hidden for you to return to him later, you're suddenly overcome by this overwhelmingly violent sensation of suffocation. You're unable to breathe. And in that desperate attempt to find your grasp, you can feel something come up from within you, and you go down onto all fours as if to let this out, whatever's blocking your airways. And as you just belch out all of this basically liquid all over the floor, Jess, Theodric, and Valinith, the one thing that you notice about this is it doesn't seem stinky as a typical wretch would. And then specifically Jess and Valinith, you also notice that this is not the typical color of, there's nothing that's coming up here. This looks to be just water.
Wait.
Can Valinith make a I don't know. Investigation's probably not the right word, but can you make a check to see if there is a drowning sensation going on here?
I guess this would be more with Feanor.
Yeah.
First,
I
Feanor
got a 12
got a
on my
12.
Constitution.
As you retch, you're able to gather yourself, and immediately you're cleared up of everything. You no longer feel this sensation. You can breathe perfectly fine, but you are shaken up as well. You can describe that sensation to everybody else of what just went on, or not. However you want to do that.
Well, Valinith
I
seeing
think
this
Jess
is gonna.
is like rushing to Feanor's side.
Yeah,
and being
same as
like,
Valinith.
Feanor, what's going on? Are you okay? Did you eat something weird? What is that?
No,
Alright.
it doesn't seem to even be burning. That's strange. I just feel shook up and puts his hands out and his hands are shaking. He's like, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, sit
Jess,
down.
It just overcame me as I came into here. Just felt like it washed over me.
Jess, make
Just-
a medicine check for me.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna sit him down. Do you feel faint at all?
No, but if I swear this is more magic water, dear God, I'm gonna be so angry.
I think
Um,
it's the piss water from the fallen goat. I told you that extra two silver for a proper fancy ale instead of that watered down weird stuff. But no, you had to
Just
cheap out.
just because I don't have a weak stomach like a man. The
You're
race
the
of
one
men
who's throwing up.
can't
Here.
handle their drink.
You're the one throwing up.
It's gotta be
Valinith
magic or
helping
something.
me.
That wouldn't be me. Something
Yeah,
weird
I
has
was
to be
there.
happening.
I was checking. I don't know if that gives you advantage or anything, but I was
that
checking.
should give you advantage if the two of
Okay,
you are
perfect.
working on it. And
Oh,
during
okay,
all of
11.
this, Caleb he takes a step back, and Thalissa, and they both look at completely shocked at you, and they hear the little exchange between Feanor and Theodric, and they said, are you okay to be able to help us? And like he looks quite concerned. What
Yeah,
was
I'm
that, Jess?
probably fine.
11.
11. You notice that his hands are cold and clammy, but outside of that, he seems to have regained his composure. Whatever fit that he had just gone through seems to be overcome. And actually, Jess, this is very akin to what you were feeling earlier. Speaking of which, I'm going to have you make a Constitution saving throw for me as well.
Oh, well, yeah, thanks. No. 14.
In a similar fashion, you can't medicinally quite explain what had happened, but you can understand what he was saying, or just as quickly as it came, it left. This is a peculiar situation, and the only thing that you could possibly tie it back to is your potentially you're drinking whatever liquids that you're drinking at the Falling Goat. That's where all of this sensation seems to have started.
Yeah,
See, I knew
maybe,
drinking ghost juice would be bad.
maybe
Oh, God.
don't drink anything from the Fallen Goat if you can help it.
Huh.
At least not the cruddy stuff. Theodric and I were the only two who had the fancy stuff.
It happened with me, and I was drinking milk.
I know. That's not fancy. Goat milk is gross. Valnets.
I would argue that goat milk is actually fancier than cow milk, depending on what region you're in, because of just what livestock people have available to them. And I'll turn to Caleb and we're fine.
Are you sure?
Thanks.
And he
Well-
kind of he puts out his hand actually to you, Feanor, to help you up. This is a gesture of hesitation at first. How do you react to this?
Phanos will be like waving his hand away, and I'm fine. Oh, that was very strange. If it happens again, though, leave me. No, no.
Why
If
are you
it
so
does happen
obsessed
while we're
with being a
trying,
martyr?
if it happens while we're trying to escape, I don't want my own whatever the hell this is to cause these two to miss miss their opportunity.
Of course.
Speaking of which, you come back here without guards, fortunately, but what is your plan exactly?
Well, we have devised a spectacular plan. If all goes well, you and Thalissa will be leaving sometime at about 10 past 9 tonight. We managed to make organize a large distraction in the main down the main street outside of the Falling Goat Inn. There's going to be a lot of music, a lot of festivities, a lot of alcohol, and hopefully that'll attract the guards' attention. And then I am going to I'm going to try to make friends with the guards at the gate and get them drunk so that I can open up the gatehouse. And then Feanor will quietly slip you and Thalissa and your beloved horse out the front gate, where I will then drink my spiked alcohol so I too pass out so I can't be blamed for the opening of the gate, and roll credits. End scene.
It seems manageable. I do have one question, though, Theodric. You say you're going to sneak up into the towers and get them drunk. How do you plan on doing so? There's a guard rotation that makes their way, and my father's guards are trained. They're warriors. They're not going to just let anybody crawl up into the towers.
Oh, well, I'm trained too, and I've trained with many warriors of the same, but if there's one thing I know about us men from the north, we cannot help a good drink, and we cannot stop ourselves from bragging. So when I mix those two together, well, nobody can resist trying to boast louder than a 17-year-old with a chip on his shoulder.
And the festivities should also pose as a good cover for this. Valnith pipes up. If it was just him randomly going willy-nilly into the tower, yes, that's suspicious, but there is revelry to be had tonight.
Yes, I forgot the part of the story where I'm going to pretend to be drunk. Which, drunk people do strange things. A drunk finding his way up the top of the guard post isn't really the most unusual thing.
Look, at worst, he's going to get detained by the guards. At worst. And then they'll let him out in the morning for being a drunk. So...
And in case that goes awry as well, we do have a plan B. It's a little more treacherous, and unfortunately, you'd have to leave Nalada behind. However, in our investigation, we discovered where the river runs into the Anduin through the city. One of the panels is rotted, in a sense. If that can be broken and the lights can be doused, you two can slip through without even anyone noticing at all. However, it is a lot more treacherous for the two of you, I should say. And again, Nalada would be unable to accompany such situations.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Theodric, I'm going to have you make, with advantage, a persuasion check for me.
Okay. That's not good.
With
that is-
advantage?
yeah, with advantage,
Oh my
unfortunately.
Oh,
That
my
is
lord.
a 7.
A 7. Well, it's as good of a plan as we've got at this point. We will trust you. All of your tasks, what will you be doing? Clearly, Theodric, you'll be doing what you can to distract the guards with you, Valineth. Feanor and Jess, what are your plans? How do you tie into this?
Well, I was going to stay by with you so that if we do happen to run into any trouble, you can get away safely with Alyssa. I am more of a stop measure for any guards or anything that we encounter on our way out. That way you can keep her safe and get out yourself.
As for me, I had a rather mischievous idea. I
Felissa
don't know
actually
how
pipes
well
up.
it's going to work.
I'm all ears. Please, if you can do anything to be able to help Caleb and I escape, please.
Well, the thought was that I could get up on a roof somewhere and try and disable the watch bell by shooting at it. That's sort of risky, though. I'm pretty confident that even if I was spotted, I could get away fairly easily. No one expects a child.
She is very sneaky. I'll have to attest to that.
It's
Valnith.
called subtlety. Down
She's
there.
very subtle.
Thank you.
Jess, make a persuasion check with me.
Okay. I am open to hearing from the rest of the party, by the way, about this.
And honestly, look, if need be, like if it really came down to it, I'm sure we could ring the bells at the other gate and say that someone's attacking from that side of the city. You know,
I feel
10 persuasion.
so it's a little bit out there, but it's not bad to have Plan C.
Perhaps Plan C. The more plans that we have in place, the more safeguards to help Felissa and I
Well,
escape.
I feel like shooting arrows at things is going to be a pretty good distraction.
Indeed. In fact, my father's men, they're quite keen on trying to capture anybody who has such a desire to do such things. But don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for your help. But I also do not want you to fall into harm's way or any trouble in the process of helping us escape.
That's very noble of you.
I mean, Jess, I think you are sneaky enough. Maybe arrows don't need to fly. Maybe you and Theodric, maybe you somehow could get up into the tower and get the bell ringing just without shooting any arrows, perchance.
The point of the exercise is to stop the bell from ringing.
Yes.
Oh, stop it. Well, maybe disable it somehow by getting up into the tower. Did we notice anything when we were looking at the bell and looking at the
Yeah,
tower?
do we know
when
the
were doing
location of the bell?
You do.
Yeah,
So that
it's
was one thing that
right
you
here.
noticed upon investigating the gate. So these are open, basically open air towers. And so there's no like cover
Yeah,
or anything
that's
on
right.
them. So you were able to see kind of the mechanism to open and close the gates. In fact, you actually stayed to see how the mechanism works to see the gate close. As it did close around 6 p.m. at night. This other bell has not been rung, but from what you could tell and investigate from down below, essentially it's basically got this like wood brace, kind of wood frame, and it's hanging from the top of the frame by a pretty strong looking rope. But it's got like one of those like levers to be able to ring like this.
We also did discover too that if severed this rope while it's open, it cannot be reclosed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It basically
that's
it would
useful.
it would require physical people to come down to the bottom and close the gate. Basically push it shut.
Which is the absolute plan Z, because that does leave, unfortunately, the whole town open to attack while
Yeah.
that is broken.
Yes. You mentioned before, like, there were some torches and stuff around here, as well as guards along this little bit.
Yes.
How feasible would it be to, like, climb one of these towers from the outside?
From like outside of the gate or inside?
Just like along one of these walls here.
It would probably be easier to climb the towers for sure than the palisade. It's feasible. There are doors into the towers that you have noticed. You'd notice that people walked in and out of them in guard shift and rotation. There doesn't seem to be keys that lead into these that basically they're using to unlock. If you wanted, potentially you could just walk in and sneak up, or you could potentially climb the tower if you want. And there are handholds to be able to do so. It is like brick, as it were.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of difficult, but you could probably do it.
Out of game question, would that be a like athletics check to do that, or do you think
I would say
swing
it'd be
acrobatics?
acrobatics.
Acrobatics, okay. Well, that's doable. Yeah.
It could be either or. I probably would be like athletics or acrobatics. So.
Well,
That's very good news, actually.
Another thing to be
Yeah.
safe too, there's always an opportunity for, we know the guard rotations, but someone who may be sneaky enough to relay information, I think is also very valuable as well. So
I mean,
maybe having someone ahead of Feanor and party to be able to come back and relay rotations and openings could be good as well. But Jess, I'll be doing revelry, so whatever you decide is the ultimate plan. I trust you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because of where the guard rotation comes, I think, Valinith, you are going to have to keep a very close eye on the revelry. And
Well, I'll have to be
if the
keeping a close eye on
guards
the
come along while we're not in position or anything, I think it would be worthwhile getting into a fight.
I'm not going to get in a fight.
You're not going to get into a bar fight for a worthy cause?
I'm not here to do so. Look at me, and he holds up his arms.
No, I mean a bar fight with someone, to distract the guards.
That would be unbecoming of a Rivendell elf. However, I will distract in whatever way I know fit. A bar fight is not the way that I know fit. However, don't get me wrong, I'll do what I can to stop whatever it is. However, this is meant for fun.
The revelry itself is
for the rest of the people, obviously. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Because on the map, if you can see, that's actually a pretty dense crowd that they're going to have to navigate to get through.
That's the crowd?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the actual, guards.
Nope, that's the crowd. These two are guards, I'm assuming.
Okay. Alright.
Do you remember when back in, what was it? Back in Dale? That we did it?
No.
Even my oh yeah, you're right. You weren't there. Valneth goes into into a story about how he was the life of the party, getting all of the sneaky hood rats, even the ones who didn't want to enjoy the revelry, to enjoy the revelry while the shenanigans went down. And he's confident in his abilities to do so.
Okay, that's good. Thanor, do you have preference on what I do? Either being a scout for you or trying to find a way to disable that warning bell?
Hmm. Perhaps the warning bell. I think that might be more pressing because even if a few of the people, guards over here are alerted, it stops the whole town from suddenly bearing down on us. It buys us a little bit more time.
Yeah. And an additional bonus to that, I'll be close by in case the Odric needs a hand.
True.
One more question. Is it possible to get from this tower to this tower by
Yeah,
climbing
yeah.
over this middle bit?
Oh no, that's
okay.
just a walkway. You don't even need to climb. That is
Ah,
literally a
easy.
walkway.
So it's basically like a 5-foot drop that goes down and then 5 feet up either side. So
Yeah,
little
easy.
stairs that kind of go up
Perfect.
into a tower.
And
Yay
if
for
need be,
accessibility.
Yep. Exactly. Was that Fëanor?
raise the door back up, and because the guards will have to stop to fix that to keep the town safe, and they still have another gate that they can enter and exit from. So it's not like we've locked all the people in the city. I think that should be one of our last-ditch efforts, if come to it, because the guards won't chase after us in the night to keep the city safe.
Okay, so plan A is plan. Plan B, we go
Oh, and
by
if
the
you're
river.
writing all these plans down.
His
Yeah.
notebook is going.
Mm-hmm. And then plan C is potentially create another distraction at the different gate.
Mhm.
And then plan double F is cutting the rope.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hear kind
All
of
right.
this huge sigh. I'm gonna have all of you make an insight check for me.
Insight.
I got a 19.
Well, like,
I got
we're
an
good. We're
18.
good. We are fine. We are
10.
rolling hot. That is a 17 for Valneth.
This is clearly a sign of relief. However, Fëanor and or Theodric and Fëanor. What did you get, Valneth? 17?
17.
17. Yeah, 3 of you. You see that Thalissa is still quite nervous. She's kind of like more by the side of like Nolodon and like holding on to like kind of like her face reins and like is looking to Calum basically for reassurance, and she examines his face, and after a moment or two she begins to calm down as well. You have done a good job of convincing them to move forward with plans A through F.
Double F.
Double F. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And with that being the case, any other plans before the revelry shall begin?
Do you have anything to disguise yourselves? Anything that makes it so you don't stick out as Calum and Thalissa, per se?
Well, we do have. I was able to grab a few of these, and he looked basically over in the back, sitting in a pile of hay, kind of purposefully dirtying itself. I was able to pull some of these cloaks out of my father's house. These used to belong to servants past, but they're out of style in these days, and from what I can tell, they don't fit right now with the current garb of my father's house. We should be able to sneak out, I think. But I don't want to linger too long in the light. It's a matter of time. What I worry about is Nolodon. Sure, perhaps Thalissa and I can, under the cover of darkness, be able to fall, but Nolodon is... well, he is a mighty, mighty warhorse. The closer we can get to the gate undetected, the chances of our escape, I think, with Nolodon might be better.
Well, if all things go according to plan, you, Thalissa, and Naladon will be on the other side of the gate before anyone knows what's happened. And from there,
Mhm.
you need only mount him and ride off.
Oh, one more thing before I forget. We should stagger things. So I think the party should be happening a good hour or two before Theodric even attempts his thing.
Get a slow
Ideally,
burn. I like it. A slow burn.
yeah.
Kyle, just
Yes.
above game. When we were watching the guard rotations,
Mhm.
do we have general times when they do
Yeah.
that?
So the general guard rotation, I believe from last session, we described it a little bit. So yeah, you probably would know it. It's a pretty constant flow of guards that go through. As far as when they rotate up on top, you notice that it only happened once in the 2 hours that you were here watching them. So you have no way of knowing if it's every hour, every half hour, or every 2 hours, as far as that goes. But you know it's somewhere within there. As far as the guards that walk down the street, they walk in pretty regular shifts. You can tell that the town itself is on pretty high alert, and these guards do a good job of keeping that safe. And you can tell the vast majority of the resources of the guards are dedicated to the main streets and keeping the walls safe. And so, because of that, if they're essentially not in the barracks, they're going to be somewhere within the entire city walking the streets, but it's a pretty regular rotation, meaning if there is a chance for a break for it, you're going to have to take it, if that's the case. Fortunately, there is a horse, so potentially you could ride that out, but yeah, they are currently not mounted or anything like that, as far as that goes.
Is there any history that Valnith, before anything happens, from the history that he knows about such things and studying up on how they previously escaped in history, the two of them?
All you know, the story, basically nobody knows. It's pretty much a
Okay.
mystery. So their escape went basically unnoticed.
Okay.
So there's no
Oh.
like.
Well, that's
place
about to
left.
change.
I hope not.
It's gonna be great.
Can I assume that Naladon has roughly the same stats as Nim and Baradorok do?
If not
So
better.
it's a coarser horse, and so
So it's exactly like
the
Baradorok.
exact same as Baradorok.
Excellent.
Yeah, just scheming over there, like, yes, excellent.
Yeah, I'm trying to see because like my actual plan was vaguely that you, Calum, Thalissa, and their horse get to about here. They mount up. I open the gate and they just fucking book it. Sorry,
I don't think they're gonna
not
get
supposed
that
to
close.
swear.
It's all good.
It's all
It
right.
happens.
Yeah.
They might get
I
that
think
close.
the key
'cause-
is there like some sort of bell tower that chimes the hours or anything like that?
Not that you have noticed actually.
That's
Those only common in larger, like,
Yeah.
segments. Like,
Because
things like that.
after these two here move off this way, it'll be a little while before these two get there. So that might be the window. But we'll see how it goes.
Theodric, I'm going to have you make a history check for me, real quick.
Okay. Oh, that's a 6.
Never mind.
I went.
The key will be to
so many
coordinate
good.
everything, so we
so
need
many
like a set
rolls.
time, like when the moon is, like whereabouts the moon is, like before we start to move. So Fainor, your group will have to be like as close as they can be before Theodric steps outside and drugs the people.
One thing we could do is we could make it like Jess was saying, a slow burn. We can start the party off with the drinking and the food, but upon the moment when we need things to go, that's when the ultimate distraction will happen as far as the party goes. All eyes will be on the party, and then you can move. You'll know when it happens. You'll know.
What kind of moon is it actually? Is it like a full moon? Is it a new moon? Like, how bright is it outside? Just
Let me roll.
Roll
Because
for
that's something
insight.
Feanor would definitely take into
Roll for
consideration.
moon check.
Is the moon there? No, it's gone.
It's a
There's
half moon.
3 moons. Okay, that's fine. This is probably the
It's probably the
not as
best.
good, not as bad, but
Yeah,
okay, cool.
perfectly even, as all things should be.
It's balanced.
50% chance of being seen. It's like, I would like better odds, but no. Okay, cool.
Okay, so we'll wait for the party to be going for a little while. I'll amble in pretending to be drunk, and hopefully get the guards unconscious. Open the gate.
Yeah.
Feanor and Jess can hopefully help usher our dear friends out of the village. I close the gate, drink some of our knockout brew, and we all meet back here at the stables, I suppose.
Speaking of which, Valinith, your
Yes.
Shadowthorn, you're going to have to
Yes.
grind one of them up. But in order to do so, I'm going to have you make a medicine check for me.
Medicine.
I help
check.
you.
Advantage.
I'm helping Belena.
Like it.
While he's doing that, Feanor's actually going to say to Theodric, how loud is the opening of the gate?
We'll see if I need the help. I rolled pretty good on the first one. Yeah. That would be a 26.
So it's not
And I
a
rolled a 19.
it's not a chain that like pulls it forth, and so it's not like the it's a lot quieter than that. However, the gate itself is relatively creaky, but you've heard much louder gates in the past. This is a pretty new fixture, so it's not quite like rusted hinges or anything like that. Based
Just
off of
because,
the history that Valinith had mentioned, this city has been basically around for about 8 years. Up
Okay,
until this current year.
yes, Theodric, be prepared just in case, when you're opening the gate, the guards come out of their barracks. Because if they do hear the gate, they may come out to investigate what is happening, considering the gate should not open at night.
I mean, true, but hopefully by that point, I'll be able to simply let go and close the gate, because everyone will be free and clear.
Hopefully.
Worst case scenario, let's call this Plan D, like subsection of Plan A.
D.A.
Or Plan A point, whichever one we're up to. Like one.
It's just like
Wait,
it's got
anyway.
it's got a letter and then a question mark next to it. Like where are we?
Where are we up to? If people hear the gate open and they're not through, it might be worth slashing the rope and joining me on the other tower, because I'll have a rope hanging off that so we can make an escape, and just bring something to cover your face.
Potentially.
Make a potato sack would
And then
work.
we can just book it. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm thinking. Like, we can just like book it down here, hopefully lose them somewhere, like just like get rid of our cloaks and face coverings, and then just join the revelry and blend in with the crowd.
Sounds good to me.
Could be, you know, if if mud hits the fan and things go a little bit wonky. All right.
By the way, Valinith rolled a 26 on his medicine check.
Yeah, you do so very successfully. No problem at all. You've never used it for this, but grinding up a herbal substance is you've done this a time or two.
Second nature.
And so you're able to do so, and you're able to basically give enough to Theodric to put in the bottles whenever you wish to do so. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to wait till later to do that? Theodric?
Do it
Did-
now.
I was just gonna give it to him. Yeah.
Sorry, did what's her name? Fondrin? What was her name? Fondra?
Rodwin.
Rodwin.
Rondrin. Did she say how, like, if leaving it in there would affect it in any way? She just said put it in
She
there and
did
it'll
not
help you
mention-
sleep.
Yeah, she basically said if this specific plant interacts with the alcohol, it becomes basically the draught, the sleeping agent.
Okay,
Yeah, I would do it before, like,
I'm gonna
yeah.
do it before getting up there, but not
Yeah.
not like an hour
Not
or two
right
before,
now.
just in case. Yeah. for now, I'm just going to keep that in my pocket.
Perfect.
Mm.
Good idea.
Well,
Okay, I
if
think
all
we're
goes
clear on what we're
according to
doing.
plan, yes, I have a party to assemble. Huzzah!
Perfect.
And Valnus
Huzzah.
Alright,
will-
and Valinith, will your party distraction be like your main distraction?
Yes.
Will that be big enough for Feanor to see, even if even if he stays here?
It will definitely be big enough. Do not
Okay.
even worry about it, Jess. The
Perfect.
whole town will know.
So we'll use that as a timer then.
Yes.
So Feanor, your group needs to be as close as possible to the gate by the time his thing goes off. But like, also don't get noticed. Just pats you, gives you a good luck pat. Good luck.
I've been in enough life or death situations at this point that I'm not going to be surprised if I'm caught immediately and have to try and outlive the entire thing. But look, that's not going to happen. He looks over at like Grim and he's like, that's not going to happen. Like, it's fine.
I mean, is this normal?
Look,
Kids
I'm still
ever get
alive
used
after
to
all
this?
these situations.
Get used to it, Jess. Welcome to the party.
Hey, at least I'm not running off on my own. Oh wait. Let's hope that doesn't happen today.
Now, I don't want this to turn into a fight, so I'm going to be leaving my gear here. Specifically my sword and my shield.
I can take him if you want.
Yes, actually, that would probably be better. But the last thing we want is this to turn into some sort of melee against the guards of this town. Hopefully we
Now,
can do this
Feanor has even
quietly.
more weapons.
I'm still keeping my weapons. So,
That's okay,
yeah.
nobody's supposed to see you.
That's true.
Okay.
By the way,
Oh,
quick
Valinith,
question.
do you actually want to hold on to my pots and pans and all this tableware that I have?
Why, of course, my backpack is free for you, my friend, to do such a thing.
Perfect.
And he opens it
Be
up.
so careful with these.
Oh,
They're
do not
friendly
worry.
heirlooms.
I completely understand, my friend. You'll do that. By the way, as the setup of the party goes, one thing he would like to do is see if he can procure a bunch of wood. A bunch of
Wood.
burnable wood.
Okay. Okay.
If he could do so.
Yeah, so you probably have a few hours between now and when you guys have to start the party to do so. I'm gonna have you make an investigation check for me.
But Feanor was going to say, it'd probably be best off talking to the tavern keep,
Yes.
because they'd have to get loads of it in to help maintain their fires in the tavern.
It's pretty good.
And
23.
he was quite the helpful fellow. He's the one who agreed to provide all the drink and food for this revelry and spread the word, so...
This is very, very true. Yes, you are actually able, and you did just that. You made your way over to the Fallen Goat, and you're able to get a decent amount of firewood.
Okay.
Enough, I'm
So-
assuming, for you to carry. Or
Well, back and forth, back and forth. So the plan is, I'll unveil the plan when it actually happens, but in the center of the area by the stage, not by the stage, but close enough to the stage, Valinith is gonna get some help and organize the pile of firewood in a way to resemble that of some sort of monster of sorts. Orc. Or a fiendish being.
like just like lay out like an imprint on the ground, or like build it up to be like a.
Build it
Is he
up.
making
It doesn't
an
need to be
effigy?
massive. It
He's
doesn't need to
building
be
an effigy
massive.
of an orc.
Think of Burning Man, but like 1/5 scale.
Okay.
monster-esque
This is going to
shape.
require some interesting checks to do so.
Yes.
Do
He
you want
hopefully
this-
is getting help for this.
Yeah. Do you want this to be like noticeable to everybody?
Yeah.
While you're doing it,
It's
Like,
just-
you're not
it's gonna
trying to
be
Get
the
some of the
centerpiece.
some of the tavern, some of the town folk to help you. Like anyone
Yeah,
who's
it's
shown
the
up
te-
early.
It's the centerpiece of the
Yeah,
the
okay.
festivity.
I'm gonna have you make
Yeah.
an athletics check for me.
Oh
That's gonna be
boy.
an advantage.
Okay. Good thing it's at advantage. He goes, boy, yeah. Good thing it's at advantage. Athletics.
The
That's a
townsfolk,
12.
the people who are working at the
It doesn't
tavern
need to
are
be
helping.
pretty, but just a general kind of like.
Yeah, we'll say
resembling something.
we'll use the Feanor on top of Nim.
Yeah.
You are able
Closest
to.
thing to a monster we can get.
Yeah.
Hey, just because it's true doesn't
You're
mean you should
able-
say it.
You're able just off the side of the road, able to
Mhm.
build a nice little thing, sculpture of a
Yeah.
person. Yeah. So,
Well, yeah, it's just something monstrous that doesn't appear, or that appears to be threatening in a sense. A threatening creature. Doesn't matter what it is,
okay.
but a threatening creature.
We'll say that it takes the shape of a bear.
Sweet. Okay. It's a bear sculpture. I like
Bear
it.
sculpture. Sweet. Anything else as you prepare?
I feel pretty prepared.
All right, I'm gonna have the group of you go ahead and either make a survival check for me, or no, survival checks for everybody.
Oof, I thought you were gonna say stealth, and I was so ready.
It's a 15 for Valna.
Theodric got a 20.
18.
15.
18.
You all are going to receive one preparation dice, not like as a group total. So essentially, what a preparation dice is it's 1d8. This can be used on any skill check by anybody, for basically the course of this escape attempt.
So did
and
you say one for the whole group?
one for the
Yeah.
whole group? And so if
Okay.
you need it, basically talk to your other players out of game, and then you
Yeah.
can
Okay.
basically use that preparation dice to roll a d8 to modify whatever rule that you made.
Okay.
Like an extra good bardic inspiration for the party.
Yeah. Okay.
With
Preparation
that,
dice is a good name for that, though.
let's go ahead and begin. And so the night begins. Valineth has spent a good chunk of his time with the plan set, creating this sculpture, this bear sculpture, getting the help of some of the people who work at the Fallen Goat. They're a little bit confused at first, but they actually find out that they quite enjoy the process of making this. It's pretty eloquently made. You can tell that these are people who are very good with their hands and crafting, and you're able to make a decent size, probably about as tall as you, Valineth. Bear sculpture, kind of off on the side, right basically next to the stage. At this point, not as many people as you perhaps would have liked have gathered, but you probably have a crowd of about 16, 17 people that have arrived on the early end of this at 9 p.m. You can tell. Actually, Valineth, I'm gonna have you make an insight check.
Insight. How do I do that? I can do that. Insight. That's a 10.
From what you can tell, they come nervous and skeptical, but you have no idea why. But 9 o'clock happens, and you have about 17 people gathered out in front of the Fallen Goat. And you see that Geb is out there with his lute, and also Aldor and a few of the basically attendants at the Fallen Goat have basically the beer, not the good stuff, but the the
real
watery
crap.
stuff,
All right.
the piss water.
I like it.
And
I
has
like
begun
it.
passing it around, to which a number of these people actually grab it and they start sipping, kind of looking around awkwardly. You know, like you arrive the first to the party and you're not the life of the party. That's kind of
Yeah.
how we're looking at this moment.
Okay. Cool.
So, Valineth, how
Yes.
do you want to begin the proceedings of this?
What's the guy's name? Geb? Is that
Geb.
his name again?
Yep.
Geb. So before this is all going on, before the party actually starts, Valineth will talk to him and kind of give him like the lowdown of like the plan of the night. So we're gonna start off with the drinking and the festivities, including or drinking, eating, that kind of stuff, just getting people together to gather. And there's gonna be just like general music that will be playing. Later on, about an hour into it, is when the big shebang is gonna happen. And then after the big shebang happens, it's gonna break out into like dancing and partying and like the rest of like the night, basically. But the shebang, he basically, what Avalna says is just like follow my lead, my friend, is what he'll say to Geb.
Aldor makes his
But-
way over to you, and Geb agrees. He's like, "Okay, that sounds like a good plan." Aldor though makes his way over to you, and he says, not quite the showing that I would like, but is there anything that you would like me to be able to do to be able to help liven things up?"
Well, my friend, you seem to be the life of a party in general. It seems
Indeed.
people you have a magnetic personality, my friend. So, if what you can do, use your booming voice. Lure people in with the drink. Lure people in with the food. Start the conversation. And Valnith gestures over to the people who are nervous. Make sure those who are here feel welcome and feel like they can be fully part of such an occasion. Because again, it is for hope and for life. Is
Oh.
what we're celebrating.
For life. Make a persuasion check for me.
Yeah. Please be good. Not bad. 14.
He nods and says, "My job inside is the same as it is outside." And he goes over kind of into the middle of this crowd, and he begins in a booming voice like a hawker selling their goods in the streets. "Party! Party at the Falling Goat! Come one, come all! Tonight we celebrate life!" And then he begins immediately engaging those in conversation. And those who are nervous seem to be doing a decent job of opening up, especially as they start to get a few drinks in them. And probably over the course of about the next 30 minutes, the size about doubles. So there's about 35 people currently standing out in front of this falling goat, which is sizable considering the size of the town.
Spectacular.
So again, about a half hour has passed, which brings us back to the events at the barn. Time is of the essence, and this slow burn has officially begun.
Cool.
Oof, pardon me. Cedric is going to stand up. And he's going to check his pocket to make sure he's got the was it Shadowthorn? The crushed up Shadowthorn.
Yes.
Was it called
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And his bottle of fancy fancy wine he got from the fancy alcohol he bought
Yes.
from
It's fancy
Yep.
wine from the north. Yep.
That's right. And he's going pardon me. He's going to well, I think I've waited long enough. Good luck, and if all goes according to plan, 10, maybe 15 minutes from now, the gate should be open.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, stick to the plan. Let's try to make sure Calum and Thalissa get out of here.
You know me, it'll go off without a hitch.
I mean, I think I heard Valinith muttering something about fire, so
Huh,
I'm
that's usually Feanor's thing, but
I'm so proud of him.
okay. Well,
alright.
I'm off. Good luck,
Okay,
everyone.
I'll walk with you.
Spectacular.
So,
Good luck, Fana.
Jess and Theodric, the two of you casually saunter through the evening town. It is relatively dark as you begin to pass close to the main streets. You have kind of depicted the relative path that Calum and Thalissa and Feanor are going to be taking. From here, which direction do the two of you want to go to approach the gate? I will say this. Initiative will be rolled as soon as you become within sight of the guards.
Okay.
That's super fun.
What's
Yeah.
this here? Is that
So
just
it's a stair.
stairs?
It's a staircase that makes your way down into the main streets.
Oh,
Okay,
fun.
well, I was thinking we'd come to about here and then like poke
Yep.
our heads out to see what's going on.
Last time. I'd even suggest to you, Theodric, to actually go up this alleyway here and like actually join the party for a bit. You know, get some like some of that disgusting ale spilled on your shirt or something. You know,
Yeah,
just to add to the illusion.
that's actually a really good idea. Okay,
Mhm.
Theodric will come up here and join the party for a little bit.
Yeah. And I will go over here and I will lurk.
I'm going to have Jess make a stealth check for me.
Okay.
And Theodric, I am going to have you make a charisma saving throw for me.
Oh boy.
I did not roll well.
Yeah, neither did I. That's a 5 on my charisma saving throw, but I'm just gonna pretend to be awkwardly like, what's going on?
Okay. And Jess, what was your result?
9 in the
9.
end of it, I think.
Jess, as you make your way over, you can see that there's nobody in sight. If anything, this plan of revelry has drawn everybody in this general vicinity out into the main thoroughfare. And so as you find your way close to this kind of house at the front of the gate, you look left and you look right into the main street, and you can see that there are 2 guards. They are actually currently going through the crowd saying, make way for the guards rotation. And both of their backs are turned from you. But do you plan to step out, or do you plan on just to stay lurking?
Oh, I if anything, I back in a little bit further to the alleyways, just like trying to.
As of now, you stay hidden. Theodric, you make your way into the crowd, and you can tell at this point there is definitely some. This is a pretty big gathering, a decent party. People are eating, people are drinking. People aren't quite super drunk yet, as the alcohol that they're drinking is very low in alcohol content. And so, as you begin to mingle, you initially kind of act like you're stumbling upon a little bit drunk, which is. You find yourself a little bit out of place, as people aren't quite to that point yet in the merrymaking. But you can see that there are eyes on you from this specific guard. He's keeping eyes on you to see if you are going to be causing trouble in the near. I'm going to have you roll for initiative for me.
Oh.
Not necessarily for, like, fighting, but, like, for this process, I'm having you roll for initiative.
That is 12.
And with that, Valinith, what are you doing at the moment as this is happening, as you see Theodric make his way, stumble into the party?
Stumble into the party. So has it been about an hour? Is the plane kicking off?
It's about 30
Per
or
se?
40 minutes
Into the party. Okay.
into the party.
So Valinith, seeing Theodric struggling a little bit, is going to consider potentially getting things a little bit more lively.
Okay.
Just so it's a little bit more of a distraction, gives Theodric a little bit more cover before the big grand event, which will be very, very noticeable for everyone. So just be paying attention for that. Hopefully it's very noticeable. But Valinith's going to get up on the stage with Geb, and he's going to make an announcement to the party. And he's going to start making a speech. Essentially, he's going to get up there. You know, Valinith can talk, and he'll talk everyone's ear off. That way, all attention is focused up on the stage itself. And he's going to be aiming for the speech to last about 10 minutes before he starts, like, the main ceremony. But basically, he's going to get up on the stage and say, welcome one and all. I am one of your hosts, Valinith, son of Morbeth, from the fair city of Rivendell, as you may know. And to my left, and gestures to Geb, your wonderful, inspiring bard of the city, Geb. Can everyone give him an applause for the wonderful music he's been performing?
He stands up
throughout
and
the
gives
night?
this big flourishing bow, and says, look forward to a night of revelry and music. In fact, I am going to be a legend one day. Afterwards, I will be signing autographs. And he begins kind of looking, like tuning his instrument as you continue your speech.
And Valinith will continue. So those of you who are here, you may be confused. What is the occasion for such a thing? And you know what? There doesn't need to be an occasion for a party. However, for hope and for life. And Valinith's going to start going into a little bit of like information based off of his scholarly knowledge of what he knows about the Numenorians and in the fall time, especially in northern Middle Earth. He's going to go into fall time in particular was a very special time of year for the Numenorians and those of your ancestors. He's gonna go into a little bit of a history lesson. So if
Make
anyone
a
wants to,
performance or a deception check for me.
it's the same for me. So this is performance. Valinith never purposely deceives. So
Never say never.
well, within reason. 16.
16. Everybody's actually fascinated by the things that you are saying, and one thing that really catches all of their attention is that line that you said, where it's like, you don't need a reason to celebrate life. You don't need a reason to enjoy. And actually, at this point, it begins drawing in the guards and capturing their attention. Theodric, you are no longer at this point being watched by this guard.
Spectacular. With that, I am going to start heading over to the guardhouse. The gatehouse, sorry.
I'm going to say during the process of this whole shebang, when kind of the distraction is happening, you wander. I'm going to have you make a stealth or deception check for me as you begin walking up the thoroughfare. You go into the light of this brazier, and as you do so, you notice that guarding the basically the docks, sitting on a barrel, is a guard who is looking out towards the party, but notices you as you pass.
That is a 10. Theodric's just going to act kind of sleepy, kind of just like he's not with it. He's got no like he's ambling.
For sure. And as you are, you have not at this point drawn any specific attention from this guard. Jess, what do you want to do at this moment? As you see Theodric come into view.
Yeah, so he's making his move, so I'm like, okay, I'll make mine. So I'm just gonna move around this house here and then stop on this corner, see if I can like scout any guards. Oh, I think those guys are coming this way. So
let me count.
yeah.
So about 3 turns have passed. So these guys have made their move. They have made their way to about here as you made your way. I'm going to have you make a stealth check as you came around the side as they passed.
Okay. How's my skulking going? Not bad. 15.
15. You go unnoticed. I'm going to have you make a perception check or an investigation check for me.
It's gonna be perception.
Okay.
16.
You notice immediately within your eye shot that there are guards positioned right here. Right here. And that's all you can see at the current moment.
Okay. Are they... Can I see which way they're facing?
They are currently facing, this one's facing out here and this one's facing here. So he's going to have a small kind of peripheral vision on you, but his attentions aren't fully focused on you. And what you can notice too is every now and then the two of them will talk with each other, kind of slightly calling out to each other, but just you can tell that it's conversation to pass time.
Yeah, easy. Okay, I have a plan in place. Do we want to go back to someone else, or am I still doing stuff?
You can go at this point. We're gonna kind of juggle because currently Valinith is making his conversation, his speech, and I'm not sure, Feanor, when did you want to start your move? So it's been about 9:45 at this point.
And how much longer was I told before the actual like big distraction's gonna be?
That it was going to be at 10 p.m.
He'll probably wait till just about 5 minutes before, because that he wants to only be getting into like this area, like in the bottom left of the map, really. As a big distraction, all guards' eyes turned on them. Like people, even if there's guards in the street, they'll be kind of drawn to whatever that is. So he doesn't want to be out there longer than he has to be. It just increases the chances of being caught just by like lingering. So.
Perfect. Starting at exactly 10 p.m. when Feanor and Caleb and Talissa join the combat. Everybody's going to be in initiative. Theodric, you're going to keep your previous initiative here. So at the moment, you guys are going to... so Valineth is doing his thing. Theodric and Jess. Until essentially you get caught and questioned, you can continue doing what you want to do without going into initiative.
Awesome.
Okay.
So also, as soon as Valineth sees Theodric make his way close to the tower over here, that's when he's going to start his big shebang, essentially.
Okay.
So he's going to keep that on a note, and he'll keep talking until he sees that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Okay. With that, Theodric is going to continue onwards towards the gatehouse.
Mm.
And when he gets to about the front, he is going to just check that there's no one around and then put the Shadow Thorn into his fancy alcohol.
I'm going to have you make a stealth check as you pass by the front doors of the barracks. The front doors are open and you can hear voices coming from inside.
Okay. Wish me luck, people.
Luck.
That's
Be
a
a lady.
17. That's a 17.
it's destined.
You walk past completely unperturbed. You can tell that the conversation that they have is they're in relatively good moods, and you can hear laughter coming from within the barracks. They seem decently distracted at this point. You make your way up to the front gates and have you make an investigation or a perception check.
Okay. Where's my perception? 16 on my perception check.
16. You look around and you can see, as you had noticed the previous night, or the previous few hours before, there are two guards that are up at the top, one of which is, he looks to be sitting down, as you can see only the top of his head, but you can basically see the shoulders and up from this guy. You have no idea what direction this guy's facing. You basically see like hair on the top of the head. You look from side to side, and you can see that there are no other guards currently by the doors, within the underneath the gate, or anything else. You seem to have snuck by most of them, and you are at the point where you kind of notice that. I'm gonna jump to Jess. What are you doing in this moment?
Okay. I think my best option is to just like very casually move across. So yeah, I'm actually gonna like pull the hood of my cloak down and come out of stealth.
Okay.
Just to walk across this little bit.
Do you want to broadcast?
And
your
then
house?
oh yeah.
Sorry. I'm like this.
I forgot. So I'll just like walk over this little bit,
Okay.
and then like hide against the wall here.
Okay.
So the guard, like I'll basically drop out of sight of like this guard.
As you do so, I'm going to have you make a stealth check. Because you are going into the torchlight, it's going to be at disadvantage.
Okay, well that's not great. That's okay. That's really good. I got a 13 and a 14 for a total of 19.
Perfect.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah, you're able to easily slip by, basically flat against the palisade wall. As you see, there are torches on either side, and there are no current guards. You can see Theodric kind of wandering up to the front gate, examining up above. You are also in close enough proximity that you can communicate if you speak normally, but I'm assuming you're not going to. But FYI, if you can basically just call over in a normal voice, and Theodric would be able to hear you at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna wait until Theodric gets in the tower before I start climbing.
All right, Theodric, what is the plan?
Okay, so I've crushed up my Shadow Thorn and I've put it in the drink. And I'm just gonna do a last minute, like, yep, I've had a little bit of the cheap, crappy beer, so I smell drunk. And then I'm going to go up the tower here and talk to the guards.
First, as you do so, I'm going to have you make a sleight of hand check as you open the door to the gatehouse.
Okay. I'm not good at sleight of hand. 7.
It is
Well,
unlocked.
Spectacular.
And you do,
So-
and there is a small cracking. Valna, what were you going to say?
Well, so as Valna sees this, because again, he was going to start his whole shenanigans when he sees basically him duck out behind this guard building and make his way this way. This is when he's going to start his thing. So can he do his thing?
First,
Can-
Feanor, at this point, would you like to bring yourself onto the map? With essentially right at the beginning, everything going down.
Yeah, of course.
So, do you want Calum and Thalissa to be riding or walking?
I'd say
riding?
at the moment, just walking. I feel like it draws less attention.
Do you want to
Am
be
I-
leading the group, or do you want to be following behind?
I'll be leading. Mostly for the fact that if like he wants them to be walking it, because we're currently walking through the stable area. So anyone who sees us might just think we're locking the horse up at night or something, or it went for a walk, something like that. And he wants to be leading just in case if any guards do see him, he can kind of like, even maybe he said to them beforehand, if he like puts his hand out like to the side with like his like hand splayed, it's like a stop, someone's coming. Like even like if he does that and like shoos back, it's like go away, like he'll stay there and you need to take another.
Perfect.
Like, he would have just been talking about stuff like that, little cues and stuff to do in case one of them's seen, if all of them's seen.
As you come out, I'm going to have everybody roll for initiative.
Oh, I've already done that.
Yes, so you're at
even
12
Valnith?
right now, Theodore. Yep, Valnith as well.
I got a
Oh
12.
my gosh.
12.
Oh
No!
my
I was doing so well.
It's
So
fine.
that one.
This is a.
It wasn't that one for a total
Oh.
of 3.
Oh.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, not
because
necessarily a bad
then
thing.
Theodric
11.
Get a head start anyway.
We may not even get into combat. It could go perfect.
Yeah, I
And
know, but it's just annoying when
With
you
that,
roll
I'm going to let you
natural
guys
one.
talk through this. I have to go use the restroom real quick.
We'll just say it's actually beneficial that Jess didn't go because you're waiting for Theodric anyway to go
I
in.
know,
Yeah,
but come
so-
on. I don't want to skip my turn.
Wow.
I'm going to use the little Rohirrim's room while we're waiting to.
No.
I'll be right back.
Well, I'm going to say Feanor Morris is going to be leading them like between the tavern building and the building behind it, down these back streets. So hopefully he can come up to like the bottom right of the building that's like in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
Is honestly.
Do you want to move them over?
I'll wait till he comes back because of initiative order and everything like that. Like the guards might move first, they might not.
Yeah.
I might have to make my whole group pause in their initiative to wait for the guard to move. Stuff like that. And I also don't know where any of the guards are in the streets.
Yeah. Where the intention is right now is that hopefully you guys don't have to worry about the guards, at least for the immediate time being, because these guys have made their way over here. These guys are distracted by here. So I guess the only
Like,
guards we really
honestly-
need to worry about.
Yeah, like honestly, if you can get to here roughly without being detected, I think Like the
It's
rest
most-
of it
pretty
should
good.
just be
Yeah,
a piece.
it's
of
mostly for
canvas.
this guard on the wall that I'm worried about.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
Putting out these
this guard
torches
here.
might be nice. Yeah.
Oh, what if I just like
Yeah.
sneak up behind him and do one of these?
No, no.
Just hand on the back of the head. And you're like,
Oh
he's
my
just
God.
sleeping.
You wouldn't even be able to reach. What are you talking about?
Well, the idea is
so,
that you
yeah.
slice his Achilles tendon, bring him
Oh
down,
my
smash
God.
his face in the pavement, and then just
Oh my
swallow him.
But this
But yes,
would Jess do that?
hopefully-
You don't know.
We don't know. We don't know
It's
her.
impressive
But
if that's
hopefully,
the case.
Feanor's going to be able to bring him to about here behind the building, where he's going to wait for the big signal, because it's hopefully far enough away from any sources of light that, especially men, aren't going to be able to see him. And look, if the big distraction makes the horse react in any way, hopefully the gate is open by any time, but before anyone can like get here to interfere. And there's still always the space in between the houses to go down if need be.
And so with that being the case, we're going to go ahead and jump into the initiative. So Naladon got a 19 because Naladon is not being ridden, but Naladon will go in basically the same term as Calum. Calum got a 2. And Thalissa also is with Calum and got a 2. Not a natural, but has a 2 total.
Yep. That works with me leading them too.
Perfect.
So
And with that being the case, these guards are next in the initiative. Basically, they're gonna go down to there. These two are going to make they're going to make intelligence saving throws for me.
Ooh. Interesting.
The first one fails. He is going to stay put. The second one starts to ignore you and everything that's going on here, and he's going to
Oh, not for long.
continue his
Not
walk. So,
For long, my
and
friend.
he calls back to his companion. Hey, enough of this rabble. We need to continue or we'll fall behind. The other one, this turn, is not going to move, but he's going to continue for his move that way. These two guards, basically all of these guards at the front are going to make perception checks for me. So this one here, the top. 13, he does not see you because he does not have a line of sight of you, and he does not have a line of sight of Jess. He sees basically everything that's going on here. This one has a line of sight, potentially, of Theodric, does not have a line of sight of Jess. But got a 3, so he's not noticing anything. This one potentially could have a line of sight with his roll.
Is it realistic?
Make a stealth check for me. This will be contested, Jess.
Oh no.
You're good at
Okay.
that, though. You're good at that, so it's okay.
Yeah, but then I
Asking for-
rolled a natural 1. Okay, 23.
You stay hidden. This
Sometimes.
this guy most likely does not have line of sight on you, so he probably doesn't have line of sight on Theodric either. So that's going to be the guard's turn for this round. This guy, nah, he's not going to have line of sight on you, Jess. It's too far away. Which brings us down to Feanor.
cool. Yeah, definitely going to. Feanor's going to try and move forward to about here. For now. And he's going to be trying to make his way more like inconspicuously, like through the street.
So on this turn, you're able to move this far.
yeah.
Um,
Yep.
And
That's fine.
do you want them to just follow up on the rear when they do get their turn to move?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be Feanor. The next is going to be Theodric.
Okay. Sorry about that, I was snapping. Well, Cedric's now opened the door. He's going to go up the stairs here and address the two guards on the thing.
So you're able to make it to the bottom of the stairs this turn, but you're unable to climb up.
Oh, okay.
Which brings us down to this crew, and so they're gonna just follow behind.
Did I get skipped?
Yeah, you did. Sorry about that. You are after Theodric. So with that being the case, what are you doing on your turn?
So again, Valinus sees Theodric slip behind the building and is just like, he's gonna get this thing going. So he's gonna start getting his speech to a climactic point. So he'll talks a little bit about history, about the Numenorians, and then he just raises his voice. And there! And Valinus gestures towards the bear effigy. The Numenorians, there is a tale of them and the bears of the north. Every single fall, there is something called the Bear Moot. And Valinus would be like, the Numenorians, in tradition, every single fall on a specific night, the Numenorian bears get together and dance in revelry. And Valinus walks on over to the thing, has his flask of lantern oil, puts the lantern oil onto the effigy, and then uses one of the torches nearby and whoom, sets it all
Before you
alight.
do so, I'm
Yep.
going to have you make a wisdom saving throw. This is going to be at advantage.
What? Saving. I don't know if I'll need the advantage, but I'll take it. 23.
23. You take the torch and you light the bear, and the bear goes up in flames. And it is hot, and it is just impressive as everybody around begins to go, woo!
And Valinith will look back at Geb.
And you
And
will
he will
see nothing.
He's not there?
You look around you, and you see that there is nothing but fog surrounding your feet. You look up to the night sky.
No.
You are in a ruined town. Completely obscured in fog in every way.
Valinith will look. Can you make a perception check of what the heck is going on here?
For your action, you can do a perception check. For this.
Okay. Just what? All right. Skills. Perception. All right.
What the actual
Maybe it was
hell?
a dream. I know. 14.
14, and with that, you make your perception check. And you look around, and all seems quiet and calm. You can tell it's the early hours of the morning as the fog is dense and the fog is high. And you take a moment to recollect yourself from this joyous occasion, but now you stand in solitude.
Okay.
Unsure if it was a dream, unsure if it's not. But it's almost as if you had woken up from a dream. You look down to, you pick up your bag, and inside your bag you can see pots and pans inside. And you look
So it
around-
happened.
And the Chinaware.
And the Chinaware,
Yeah.
and all the things that Jess had basically bartered over. The only other thing that you can see is to your left, you can see a sleeping Barada Rock.
Nice.
Okay,
That's where I like to see.
he's okay.
Well.
And now we move over to
Oh my god.
continuing on in the initiative order. Which brings us to Noladon, which will withhold action and follow orders. Skipping Jess, of course, which will then go with the guards. These ones, unable to see anyone, are not going to make checks, and they are going to make their way off the map. But with that, they become a new set of guards, make their way up, and are relatively known. These ones, as essentially this bear is lit, the visage of Valinith utterly vanishes, and there is a panic amongst the people in the crowd.
Well, that's a distraction. Jesus.
These guards, this guard here runs over and is like, "What is going on? What kind of elven magic is this?" And that draws the attention of this guard here. He is going to move back 5, 10, 15 feet and examine the bear. To which both of them are going to make wisdom saving throws for me.
This is not what Dain had planned for
This
his
magic bear.
action.
It's killing everyone.
Valinor basically did a Bilbo.
In the dense crowd that is surrounding this bear and looking around, you hear kind of like these guffaws, but you can tell that people are now starting to get to the point where they're drunk enough to where they're celebrating. Whoa, that's so cool! And like they're like very, very excited about it. And this guard and this guard, they end up just shaking it off, and they're gonna finish up the rest of their moves. These guards cannot see either of you, so they're not going to make a check. It's going to basically be up to this guard with a Jess. I'm going to have you make a stealth check contested with his perception.
Let's see if he, like, leans way over on the wall in the opposite direction that he's looking.
Why is there a child right there?
14.
14. He does just that. He hears the call. He hears the call in the crowd, but on the other side, he looks over and he looks at his companion and says, "What's going on?" You can tell that immediately. There, you can sense light in the corner of your eyes coming up above this building, and a big crowd cheering. You have but a moment to attempt to disappear if you wish to do so. I'm going to allow you, if you want, as a bonus action, to attempt on your turn to make the dash action. But then your turn will be skipped if that is the case. Or you can stop and see what they do in the moment for the rest of their turn. They're calling over to each other like, what is going on? But it's up to you. I'll let you use a bonus
Does
action.
it seem like they've seen me, or does it
They have
seem
not
like they were
seen you.
distracted?
It's basically the voices and like the crowd from behind. The one looks over the wall and then looks at the other. Is just like, what is going on? But they did not. They have not noticed you.
Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna, like, shrink back into the corner as much as I can.
I'm gonna say
Like, not even that. I'll just, like, be like, I'll change my approach a little bit. Just,
Okay.
like, be casually, leaning against the wall, arms folded, like, sort of just staring off into the distance. Plausible deniability.
This guard turns around and he looks towards basically the conflagration that has burst up and over the rooftops. And he looks to the other guard and says, "What's going on?" He has not looked down though.
Yes.
Which brings us to Feanor.
Cool. Because
Yeah, you have a full view of this, FYI.
Okay, so what direction? So is he looking more up to like towards like up here, like the main road kind of area?
So I mean,
or-
you can look at like any directions, whichever way
Yeah.
you want to go, you can go. But because of this sight that you have, you see this. You don't see Valinor vanish, as he was off to the side here behind the building. But you see this basically bear go off in a blaze, and you hear cheering, you hear clapping, and
Yeah,
you feel the heat come off of it.
Yeah, Feanor is going to try and make his way down. He's going to try and keep closer to this building for now.
Do you
And
want
stopping
to
while
stealthily do it, or do you want to spend your action to sprint? To dash, I mean.
yeah, you know what, he's still trying to do it stealthily, more or less. Like he wants to try gate so that he can see the moment it opens, but he's not going to blow his cover just yet.
As you pass by, you see the goat that they were talking about, the laughing goat, and you could tell, like, with the blaze, he begins screaming, "Rah!" just like losing his mind. But there is enough of a distraction as of now. He has not officially blown your cover. You're gonna continue your way.
Yeah.
In this direction. Stealthily. And so nobody has noticed you up until this Which brings us to Theodric.
Okay, I would like to continue going up the stairs to talk to my new friends.
Theodric, make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh no! That's a 3.
That could be a good thing, though.
You look up, and basically it's a ladder with a trap door. You look up to see this trap door is closed, but you are able to climb up, and you place your hand on it. Do you wish to open it forcefully, or do you wish to open it quietly?
Just casually.
Okay. So you do so. It is not locked or anything, but you peek your head up, and you immediately, this guard is brought to your attention. Hey, who goes there? As you peek out, and you're able to climb out onto basically the tower above. So you've spent at this point 15 feet of your movement.
Okay. And I still have another 15. So I will. 5, 10, 15. There we go. And I say, hello! Good evening, my friends! Good evening! And I'm very clearly waving this bottle around.
He looks to you and says, "You're not supposed to be up here. What are you doing here?" And he begins to, he stands up, and this other one has stood to his feet too. They have spears clutched in their hands as they look at you. They see the bottle in your hand. I'm going to have you make a deception check for me.
Okie dokie.
Remember, you do have a preparation dice, just in case.
It's not good when the DM reminds you. Of
Yes. Can I use that deception check? The deception the dicey dice.
Dicey dice.
I think if you, yeah.
Because that is not a good deception check.
Oh, hang on. Let me just check. Oh, you think
I
it's
would
gonna be
say-
worth it?
I think because this is one of the most crucial bits of the entire plan. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
I'm not
worst-
sure if you'll be
the-
able to get high enough to succeed, but it won't be as bad a fail.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, go. Roll the
No?
d8.
Okay, so
It's a
That is
1d8.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a 8 in total.
8 in total. They say, "Ugh, well, if it isn't the life of the party. Again, what are you doing up here?" They don't seem super aggressive at the moment. They're concerned, clearly, with you being up here.
A drink! A drink to the fine warriors of Haycombe! For carving out this little piece of paradise for everybody!
That Aldor always up to no good. And they investigate the bottle that you have in your hands. The one on the far side says, "To Haycombe indeed! What is that you've got there?" You're
Fancy
clearly
wine! Well,
piqued his
wait, is it
interest.
wine? Is it wine or
It is
was
wine, yeah.
Fancy wine from the north. I bought from the elf lady at the docks.
And he basically elbows over to the other guide and says, "Did you hear that? He's got the good stuff." And they both look up, and that is going to be the end of your turn. Which brings us to Valinith.
Yeah, Valinith, still kind of investigating on what's going on, seeing that Baradorok and Nim's there too, right? I can't remember. Yeah, Nim's there. It's just the two of them.
Nim isn't like directly beside you, or next to Baradorok. You haven't spotted Nim yet. You've only spotted Baradorok.
Okay. Will Valinith being aware of the circumstance, I guess, knowing that like whatever happened actually did happen based off of having Jess's stuff in his backpack, he's going to try to burn off this mist as much as possible around him.
Okay.
So he's gonna start to actually make campfire for things around
So this will
You can
be
use them.
your full action for the turn
Yep.
as you
That's
get together, pull out basically whatever supplies you need, and you begin starting this campfire.
Mhm.
You do. And as you do so, the fog begins to kind of dissipate a little bit around you, and you notice that everyone, not including, everybody is gone,
Mhm.
except for their baggage. Their baggage is all where it was. Baynor, who is supposed to keep watch, is nowhere in sight.
Mhm.
And I'm going to leave it at that.
Sounds good.
Uh,
No noises or anything that Valineth notices while he's doing such things.
Make a perception check for me.
Okay. Because I know that everyone was hearing nonsense in the middle of the night. That's 24.
24, very perceptive on your general surroundings. You do not hear any noises at first, but you begin to. Just audibly, barely audible,
Mhm.
just a bit north of where you are. You can hear what the sound of moving gravel and the sound of chain against stone. Very slowly. From what you can tell, it sounds like there is something being dragged.
Valineth is just gonna have his bow kind of at the ready as he's making this fire, and noticing that and be like, I, oh, I don't know what's happening here, but please come back, guys, please come back. He's freaking a bit.
Which brings us to Jess.
Very cool. Perfect. I am a little bit nervous about this guard in front of me. But in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm gonna start scaling this wall. I'd like to get about halfway up if possible.
Yeah, it's a 20-foot tower. So you move 5 feet up. I'm gonna have you make a stealth check to do this, and also an acrobatics check afterwards.
Okay, stealth is a dirty 20. Acrobatics 15.
So you're able to move 5 feet in this direction and begin to scale it all the way. If you want, you could potentially climb it to the top. If you want to go about halfway, you can do so.
Okay, yeah, I'll go all the way to the top, but then I'll just, like, flatten myself out on the top like a pancake.
Okay. You also have enough room, if you wanted to attempt to climb around to this side if you wish to do
Yeah.
so. Okay.
Perfect. Sounds good.
So you're able to do so kind of flat, holding on to, like, the top of this this tower.
Yeah.
You have gone
Do I have enough
unnoticed.
movement to pull myself on top of the actual platform?
Yeah, you have 5 feet of movement left.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I do that. Yeah, but I don't stand on top of the platform, I just go prone.
Okay, perfect. So you are flat and you are out of view. There is a
Yep.
ladder that basically goes up here. It's not stairs, so there's once you've gone flat, you have basically broken your line of sight from this guy.
Sounds fantastic.
very
I know what's
stealthily.
gonna happen to that ladder.
Which brings us to Calum and Alyssa. The two of them, they're going to continue following. And they tap you on the shoulder, Feanor, and says, "Is that the sign? What do we do? What's the plan?"
Well, okay. That's to draw the guards' attention. We're going to move forward. Up here up the building. You'll wait back here on the back half, and I will go up closer so I can see the moment the gates are open. When they're open, I'll signal you.
They nod. If you could broadcast your mouse, actually, could you show me which direction? Are you going to go here or here?
Feanor is going to go over to here. He's just going to keep along this edge line. He knows that those guards have made their way further down, so he's going to almost come up here and wait near the corner of this building where he has a clear eye shot of the gate and everything that's happening.
Okay.
He'll probably be able to see Jess. but
Probably.
yeah, being able to like keep an eye on the gate while still being a bit discreet. It's less discreet to be leaning against the building facing the direction than to be peering around a corner. More discreet, sorry.
When we get to your
And-
turn in combat, we can move up that direction.
Yeah, and he'll want them to stay back around here, a little bit further, still in the shadows,
Okay.
but not seen from this alleyway. It's like halfway up this building.
Which brings us to the top, which is Nolodon, and he is going to stay behind. And then the guards. And so these guards, they're going to continue their walk. No. And these ones are going to come through, and they're going to say, make way for the guard! They're going to make an intimidation check to see if they can do so. And the first one's not intimidating, and the second one is just intimidating enough to get these first two people out of the way. They're going to start making their way up through the crowd here. And with that being the case, we jump down to you, Feanor. So if you want to get to this position, you can continue to stealthily make your way there. You could sprint if you wanted. You could dash to make your way over here, if you feel the need to do so.
No, his cover hasn't been broken yet, and he wants to give the distraction enough time to like move on. Like he's, if need be, will explode the second we need to, but there's no need to send it spiraling too soon. So he's just going to keep doing his walk.
Which then brings us down to Theodric.
Okay. So Theodric.
Before
now
you
with
do
your
anything, wisdom saving throw for me.
Wisdom saving throw. Bing, 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 bing. That's a 3. Okay. Theodric is going. Yes. Good wine for my brothers from the north. Great warriors with great tales.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 13.
13. The one on basically in the north here, he looks over to the other one, and you can noticeably see that, like, he does, like, his, like, eyebrows, and, like, why not? You hear the one on, basically in the south say, well, he seems drunk. Do you think he's willing to share? Hey, you! Give us a drink of that.
Absolutely, my friends. What is a bit of wine between warriors? And Theodric is going to hold out the bottle.
Are you going to move towards them, or wait for them to come towards you?
Yes, Theodric is going to move towards them. 5, 10, 15. There we go.
And you hand out, and you can spend essentially the rest of this, basically feeding this one wine.
Indeed.
And on the next turn, this one will come around and grab wine from you. Which brings us to Valinith.
So, is there any, or are there any towers of sorts where you can kind of get a little bit higher up to get a better vantage point?
There's a small ruined wall that rises about 15 feet up. It doesn't have any noticeable ladders or anything that would help you, and it's broken at the top, so it would be a little bit sketchy to attempt to be there. But I'm going to have you make a perception check for me as a bonus action,
7.
if you wish to do so.
I did. 7.
With that, oh jeez,
Yeah, we've moved a little on the overlay.
I gotcha. With that, you take a look at the surrounding area, perhaps realizing that's not the best course of action, but this fire has dispelled kind of the area in about a 20-foot circle, but it's not going to do much more as far as dispelling more fog. From what you can tell, the only creature that you can see is Baradorok.
Okay. Valineth is gonna really focus on the noise of chains and dragging and the direction it is, and he's going to try to see if he can decipher any shadow lore
Make a
of
shadow
sorts.
lore check for me.
Okay. That's a 10.
10. You feel a burden on your heart, but you do not feel fearful. You
Okay.
haven't experienced this kind of feeling before. Perhaps, maybe it's the fact that you don't see your companions anywhere to be found. You're in panic mode or whatever the case, but you don't feel fearful. You look around and you're in the general direction, but your eyes aren't able to cut through the dense fog.
Okay. Was that shadow lore check in action? The action then for the turn?
Yeah, I would have to say so. You have movement if you want to move.
Yeah. So he's gonna try. He's gonna try to get as close to the edge of the fog as possible, and just keep hearing whatever direction this dragging noise and dragging motion is
Okay, so
going towards. And he's gonna keep
you
an
make
eye
your way
on
about 10 feet out into the corner. Any direction in particular. So if you look
towards
here
the
on the map, if you look here on the general map of where you would be in basically comparison to this,
the ruin.
you're about right here, right here-ish.
Okay.
So from what you can tell, most likely the ruined structure is the facade of the goat, the falling goat, and you're only able to see about this far down onto the road.
Okay. And which direction is it? Down here.
So this is south.
The dragging?
The
Where the dragging is
from
coming
what
from
you
there.
notice is in the northern direction.
In the northern direction. Okay. And we never noticed this river or anything when we initially came to set camp, did we?
You did. It was.
And it was there?
You filled up your supplies and everything, and you were
But it
able-
wasn't nearly as strong. It was very
correct.
like
It wasn't a
weak.
river.
Okay.
It was more or less a stream.
Okay. Cool. Well, Valneth is gonna make his way, I guess, up here to this specific area.
So you will be making your
looking
way into basically this fog, which basically gives you a 5-foot radius of vision, field of view.
Okay. So he'll make his way to like that square right there. Bow at the ready, just in case.
Which brings us, to Jess. Jess, make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay. If we just all vanish, that would be the worst.
Just leave Feanor
Yeah,
behind.
exactly. 17.
17.
I don't
You
like this.
immediately open your eyes, and you're in the sudden realization you cannot breathe.
Oh.
You see the moon just above you, shadowed by fog. And as you look from side to side, you don't see anything, but water is cascading over your face. You look down to your body, and you are buried in the mud of the river. And you are currently in the process of drowning.
Sweet. Sweet.
Well, it is your turn, so
Cool. I stop drowning, please.
so you're able, so without any movement or anything, you're able to stick your head just enough to catch a breath of air. But your body is confined in the mud inside this the shallow creek. You can make an action to make an athletics check to free yourself if you wish to do so.
Okay, cool. That's athletics.
Athletics.
8.
You continue to struggle, but it has a firm tight on you. It's almost like sucking you in to a degree. But you are able to catch a few breaths out as you crane
Yeah.
your neck just above
Yeah.
the watery surface to catch a few breaths.
Yeah.
And that is going to be
I-
your turn.
Yeah. Can I use a free action to scream?
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free.
Okay, I do that.
Valineth, you hear this as you start
Yeah,
to
all right.
creep down.
All right.
All right, that brings us to Calum and Felissa. They are going to stop about right here as they were directed. And that's going to be the bottom, which brings us to the top, to the guards. And so this guard, as mentioned, is going to come around and from you, Theodric, essentially grab and take a swig. The two of them have done so, meaning they're going to be making Constitution saving throws for me from here on. This guy got a 17, so he is sitting pretty. He is not passed out yet. This guy, on the other hand, got a 7. He starts to feel woozy, and he says, "Oh, that's strong stuff." And he begins kind of like stumbling around, and he falls down to his butt, and he begins laughing and hiccuping. The effects of this have started to begun to take an immediate effect.
And Theodric looks at it and he slaps the sober guard on his shoulder and goes, "A lightweight, not unlike you, my friend." and yeah, Theodric is just playing the amused drunk right now.
Perfect. He agrees. This group here is not in the field of view of either of these guards, and these guards are going to go and continue to make their rotation. These ones, again, are going to shout, make way for the guard." This one is intimidating enough to go 10 feet up, and the other one is not, and so is only able to move 5 feet. Which brings us down to Thanor.
Like I said, Feanor is just going to continue moving up to the spot. Like, he's got no reason to suspect anything else going on with the others.
Yep.
And that's just where he's waiting. And he's now waiting for his cue.
And with that brings us down to Theodric.
Okay, Theodric, upon seeing one of them, which one's knocked out? Is it the one on his left or the one?
The one to his immediate left he's not knocked out yet. He's like in the process, like probably within the next 6 to 10 seconds he will be out.
Okay. Theodric happily passes the bottle to the sober guard and says, "That's some strong stuff. Put hair on your chest. Make you look like a dwarf soon." and is just making merry.
He looks at you. I'm gonna have you make a deception check with advantage.
He thought it was funny.
That's a 19.
Begins cracking up, and he just I've never met someone as funny as you before. And he begins coughing, and he himself sits his butt down. He is not as woozy or delirious as the other. You are free to do whatever you wish to do at this moment. They don't seem to be paying much attention.
And with that, Theodric is going to move to here, and would a perception check count as my turn?
I would say it would be a bonus action.
Okay, I'm going to do a perception check to see if anyone's got eyes on me.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
That is a 17.
As of now, no. You see 2 guards coming up the path, but they have not looked up to see if there's anything. Fortunately, the noise behind them is enough to distract them from anything that's going up. They are not looking up, and you can see on the left and the right, there is nobody who has eyes on you on the palisade either. For now, you, as far as you can tell, pretty confidently, you're in the clear.
Okay, above game for the rest of the party's input. Should I open the bridge now? Like, should I open the gate? Or should I wait for these guys to pass?
Well, Feanor and party aren't anywhere really all that close within the turn,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So maybe it wouldn't make sense opening it now. I think it would just alert these guys
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Give
I would
give
do-
them one turn to a few more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know.
Give
Yeah.
it some time. Give it some
Okay.
time to breathe.
With that, Theodric's just gonna kind of lean against the mechanism and pretend to have a swig from the bottle.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
10. Oh, 11, sorry. Actually, no, I'm -1 because I used my feat, so 10.
You're there with plans as you see the 2 guards up top slowly slipping into unconsciousness. Nothing seems out of place. The plan seems to be going as smoothly as you could possibly think. You look across to the other tower. You don't see any sign of Jess or anything as such. But yes, you are in the clear as far. The plan is going swimmingly. Which brings us all the way down to you hear
Doneth hears a
you
scream.
hear this scream coming basically from the river.
Valinith shouts back. Does he recognize the voice? Or is it just a scream?
Little recognizable scream. Has he heard me scream before?
Yeah.
Probably in anger at like Feanor doing something stupid.
No, that's Jalen.
This is something where you are looking for your lost friends. This is a potential clue to that.
He's just wondering if it's like banshees or something. Something terrible.
No, it doesn't seem ethereal or anything.
Come on.
Okay, well, you
Banshees.
never know. You never know.
Yeah,
Sounds
no,
like
yeah,
like a
this sounds
scared
like this.
hobbit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Valinith shouts back, Jess, is that you? And will like be very loud about it. Hopefully, potentially rousing a sleeping horse nearby. And he's gonna make his
Make an
way.
animal
in that
handling
such-
check.
Okay. Animal handling. Okay. Animal handling. I'm shockingly good at animal handling. I don't know why. It's because it's wisdom based.
Because it's wisdom
that's a
based,
fi-
and you
yeah,
say that every
15.
time you have to roll it.
I know. I'm surprised about it. I'm just like, Valin's good with animals. I guess he's a Rivendell. That's a 15.
A 15. You hear a from up upon the essentially up upon the cliff and ruin. But you have a your turn to be able to essentially do. Again, you can only see in a general 5-foot direction in all sides from you.
Yeah. So Valinith is gonna try to pinpoint like what direction that is. He's gonna keep the chain in the back of his mind, whatever that noise is, and he's gonna head towards that. He's like, "Come, Baradrock, come, horse. We have saving to be done."
Theodric, roll a initiative for Baradrock.
Okay.
For you, Valinith, you move in the general direction of the water, as that's your really only sign. That and Justice Screams, your sign of making your way forward. I'm gonna have you make a perception check as you wade your way through this dense mist.
Broderick got a 5 on his initiative.
Okay, sweet.
That's a
That'll come into account
18
next
perception.
18 perception. You're able to generally find the pinpointed direction. So you move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And you immediately pick up upon what looks to be moved gravel and dirt. And you can see being pulled into basically the banks of the river an unconscious Theodric.
Who's pulling?
You are unable to see at this moment. You basically are able to see basically his face and upper torso being dragged slowly.
Valineth is gonna shoot his bow in that direction.
Okay, gonna go ahead and make an attack
Towards.
roll at disadvantage.
Okay. Towards whatever's dragging. Like above. Above Theodric, essentially. Attack roll. Oh my gosh.
Our healer has
At
to specify
disadvantage?
he's not trying to kill our teammate.
Well. Let's see. Okay. 11
11.
to hit.
You take your arrow and swiftly you fire it. Boom! And you can hear, not too far away, it clinking against rocks. And Theodric's body continues to be dragged just out of sight.
Sweet. Alright. Well, Valineth, I guess that's all he can do. Can he reach out for Theodric? Or is that all? He can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
It's just
probably
shot
probably not at this point since you made your attack.
Okay. Well, he'll take note that Theodric's about to be drowned. And he'll be like, yes, that's weird.
It's super weird.
That is weird.
Super duper weird. But Jess, it is your turn now. You hear this arrow clinking against a rock relatively nearby, and you've heard Valineth call for you. You are not alone as far as you can tell, but you also are overcome by this dense mist. You can barely see the silhouette of the moon as you attempt to keep your mouth above the water. You can do an action to attempt to free yourself if you wish to do so.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make an athletics
And
check.
I'm just gonna keep yelling for Valineth in the meantime.
Okay,
Nice. I like it.
Athletics,
athletics.
11.
You do so as you continue screaming, fidgeting as much as you can. You begin to uncover just enough of you to be able to stand up, utilizing half of your movement. You are still caked in essentially like mud and whatnot. Any attack rolls or anything from here on out is going to be made at disadvantage until you spend an action to remove the rest of the mud from you.
Yeah.
And so
I'm just
you can
gonna focus on getting out of the water. I'll use a dash action if I have to.
Perfect.
Shoot.
Yeah. You are able to do so. You basically high step your way out of this mud, and it is sucking mud, almost as if there's like tendrils and fingers reaching up to pull you down. But you are able to just break the surface of the water and go onto the muddy banks. You don't see anybody or hear anyone, but you look around and it is completely dark and foggy.
Ooh.
Which brings us to Calum and Thalissa. So they're going to come with their mount and they're going to stop about here. They whisper to you, "What now?"
Well, hopefully, now we just wait. If anything goes wrong and the gate doesn't open, we'll move go between the basically down here, in between the buildings to wait. But I don't know how long we should wait. But hopefully, my friends are reliable. We'll be able to get it. We'll be able to get out.
Calum, he says, "So we were waiting for a sign. Was the lighting of the fire the sign for us to go?"
No, it was I'm sure the sign to draw away the guards. With the gate still shut, it would be foolhardy to approach, especially with it so well lit. With you being so recognizable and your mount, of course, it would just guards would approach us and we'd be captured before we could do anything.
Shall we prepare to make our dash? Meaning, they want to know if they shall mount up on Gnolodon.
I think
FYI, you guys see here, I know it's kind of difficult to see, these are tree trunks, but they're actual trees. I probably should have told you that.
yeah.
So you guys are technically obscured behind trees.
Okay, Feanor's gonna be like, it might be best to put Thalissa up on Naladog. For if we need to make a quick getaway. And then you can just swing yourself up on top.
Indeed. And you can see that he's shaking and nervous as he helps Thalissa up on top of this horse. And basically he looks to you and says, at the queue, we're ready. Which brings us to the top of the combat round.
I will say, Feanor grabs like a water skin or something and throws it to him. And he's like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright.
He shakes his head and he nods. I know it will be. And with that, the guards, they're gonna make their rounds. And so, 10, 15, 20. They are going to make their perception checks against a stealth check from you, Thedric. If you wish to remain stealthy.
Yep. Stealth check. Please. 19.
You're able, as you see these guards make their way up towards the front gate, you can tell their eyes are fixed up top. Nothing seems wrong or out of the ordinary as you slip out of sight, crouching beneath the mechanism.
I am going to.
Ooh, not your turn yet.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So they're just making their way up in this direction. These two are going to call out, make way, make way. This one moves, and so he's able to make his full movement through here. Fortunately, he's not able to move anyone, but he will make his movement that direction. And with that, Feanor, make a wisdom saving throw for me.
A 16.
You open your eyes, or if anything, you snap out of a trance, and you can see up above you the moon shining bright, and you are drowning.
Okay.
The water doesn't seem, it is fading over your face, but it doesn't seem to be so deep as basically you can reach your head up, you can crane your neck up and catch a breath of air.
Mhm.
But completely thrown about from your current position, you are unable to truly comprehend what is happening, and you find yourself bound by the very mud that is at the bottom of this riverbank. It is your turn. You may, if you wish so, make an athletics check to attempt to free yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Just like taking as big a breath as he can, he's then going to just try and like just pull himself out of the river. If he can, he'll like pull one of his hand axes out and like use them to like dig into the mud for like just that extra little bit of traction.
This is the way that I like to think about it. It's like that scene in Lord of the Rings, like in the Dead Marshes, where like there's like the bodies of like the elves and orcs and men in the basically in the river, and it's not super deep, or I guess it's a marsh at that point. It's not super deep, but they like are just like laying there, but the earth is basically buried over them, leaving just their heads like to be able to be seen. But yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make your athletics check.
I got a 7.
7. You're able to wrestle your way, but unfortunately, I'm not out of the muck. Again, it feels as if tendrils are pulling at you, as if bringing you back down into the mud. You are... that's all you can do to be able to keep from drowning, but you're able to crane if you wish to do so, your neck up in order to keep breaths.
Same as Jess. He's just going to go like, "Oh, help! Oh God, anyone!"
And with that, both Jess and Valineth hear the struggling voice of Feanor a little bit upstream. That brings us to Theodric. Make a wisdom saving throw. for
Sorry,
me.
I love that Feanor's just chucked this guy a water skin like, "It's gonna be okay," and then just disappear.
Yep. No one's around to know their reaction, so.
That's an 8.
An 8. As far as you know, things are all going according to plan, Theodric. You have been unseen. Both of these guards have passed out completely in their drunk stupor. If you wish to do so, you can begin to move the mechanism.
Yep. Theodric is going to begin to move the mechanism.
Make an athletics check for me.
Okay. Athletics. I think I'm actually very good at that. That's a 19.
You do so, and in one fell movement, the gate opens completely. And the guards down below, they look up and they see this gate opening before them. They're like, "Hey, what's going on?" You have caught the attention of these guards. Which brings us down to Valineth in your turn.
Yeah, well, seeing that there's screaming in the distance, Theodric's being dragged.
FYI, Valineth,
yeah.
before this happens, you see basically last turn, Theodric be pulled out of sight from you. And you begin to hear, again, Feanor screaming. You can hear the sounds of splashing from Jess, and you hear more splashing. It seems as if Theodric has been brought below the waves.
Okay, so Valineth
Okay,
is
not
going to
waves,
go
the
as
water.
close as he can to the water while he's still screaming for Baradrock to join him and whatnot, and see if he can see him close when he gets to the bank of the water. Or see something, like whatever's pushing him or pulling him or that kind of thing, you know?
You make your way up towards the bank here. As you look and you gaze again, the vision that you can see is literally within 5 feet. You move as far as you can, so much to the point where your feet begin to wade into the water. You are unable to see anyone. Again, you hear calls and hear screams in the relative area that you are, but you don't see Theodric and his
Do I see Jess?
You
She's
don't
standing
see-
there, right?
You don't see Jess either. Again, you can only see within 5 feet, 5 foot
Okay.
radius in all directions.
Okay. Well, Valineth's going to try to perceive. Again, he's going to try to make another, like, shadow check or something. Because this is weird.
Make a shadow roll check.
This is weird. That's not great. That's a 6.
6. Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah. Valineth
But
will
again,
call...
you're not necessarily frightened by this. But this is weird.
Does Valineth notice any, like, footprints or dragging paths or
Yeah,
anything
you
in the...
see a number of dragging paths. They're all in the kind of like the same. You can see 3 distinct patterns, basically, of bodies being dragged into the water, basically at your feet. But again, you don't see any bodies that are around you. This seems to be the relative area where Theodric, Jess, and Feanor have been dragged into the
Based off of Theodric's trajectory that he was going, can Valineth decipher which path is his?
water. I mean, it's all kind of generally the same.
Okay.
In kind of the water that you have gone in.
Well, Valineth will continue to call, and he's actually going to, like, stick his hand into the water and, like, see if he can grab anyone's arm or something, if he can.
You crouch down and you begin to reach in the water, and you find nothing but empty water and dirt.
Okay. Well, Valineth will keep, like, shouting, like, my friends, I hear you, where are you? And he'll continue to do so.
Theodric, make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay. That's a 16.
As you begin pushing and this wheel begins, you stop and the bar itself kind of back into your chest and you lose your breath. You lay flat on your back, able to just reach out and grab the mechanism from completely uncoiling. But you yourself begin to vomit what looks to be essentially water out the sides of your mouth. And just as quickly as you weren't able to breathe, you're able to breathe again. This is, again, not the first time that you've seen this. This seems to be a pattern.
Oh boy, that's not good. Whose turn is it?
It is Jess's turn. Actually, no, it's Baradorok's turn.
My boy.
Baradorok, he is. I'm gonna actually have you make a wisdom check for me for Baradorok. This will be a perception check, so if he has any bonuses to perception, feel free to add that.
I
I
don't
feel like you
know
should
if
have
he does.
advantage on perception.
He's a very
Specifically
smart
for Theatric,
horse.
though.
Specifically,
Is he a wise horse,
He's
though?
a wise horse.
He doesn't have any. Oh, no, he doesn't have any specific.
Aww.
So just a wisdom check.
That is a 9.
A 9. You hear a whinny, and there's a fire, and he basically spends this turn looking around trying to find anybody. His eyes, though, are set on the river as he hears the commotion going down with the screaming and all of that. Next turn, he will be able to move and act, which brings us to Jess. Jess, you are now on the banks of this river. Again, unable to see anything that's around you, except for the calling of Feanor relatively close by and basically water being sloshed in a general direction. Again, very close by. It's chaotic. You have no idea what's around you. You're caked in mud. It's a weird situation.
What does the mud do again? It's like this.
It gives you a disadvantage on attack rolls.
Okay.
And basically
Alright.
anything that you need to do physical, so whether it's grappling, anything like that, you get disadvantage.
Okay. Alright. Damn it. I will. It's an action to remove.
It's an action to remove the mud.
Yeah. Okay. I'll remove it as an action then. And then as a bonus action / movement, I'd like to just start yelling for Fana and like do a little bit of Marco Polo. With that. And if I can find him, I will grab hold of his hand or whatever.
Make a perception check for me.
Okay, perfect. 11.
His voice seems to be coming back from the direction of the water. However, it is more eastwardly than you are currently. And so you can wade your way back into the water, searching to see if you can find him. Again, this water isn't super deep. It probably raises at Hobbit stature, probably up to just under your chest. For someone like Valinith, it's probably a little bit below the waist. It's not super deep water. So you begin wading in a general direction. You are able to, because it is a relatively difficult terrain, you're able to move in a 5, 10, 15-ish foot pattern towards. Although, again, because of the low visibility and you're feeling around, you haven't been able to find anyone or anything yet up until this point. So, sweet. Which brings us to Calum and Thalissa. Calum, he sees that Feanor immediately vanishes, and he mutters to himself, "What magic is this? What is this?" And he looks and he hears basically the craning of the gates, and he immediately uses his bonus action to get up onto the horse and says, "Come on, Thalissa, let's go." And he is going to use his dash action. I guess technically, Meladon is using the dash action. So. And at this point, the guards see that Naladon with 2 people. I'm gonna see actually if this guard recognizes Naladon. He does not. This guard probably notices. Let's see. He does not at a natural 1. And at full sprints, Naladon moves its full movement in a dash towards the gate. Coming into view, close enough for these to be able to see these guards. Now, let's see if they notice. This one does not. They are rolling. Roll bad, FYI.
You mean
and
roll
this one
good?
does not. They see and they are more surprised than anything as they see this horse coming galloping up onto the main road. In a scramble, they are basically at the ready, weapons drawn. Yeah, it's intense. They haven't necessarily recognized what this horse is or who is on top of it, other than just a horse making a bolt towards the gates. Which brings us to the top of the round at Naladon. We're at 19. And Naladon is just going to dash.
Straight out the gate.
The plan worked.
Hell yeah.
And as they disappear off into the distance, Theodric, make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay.
Roll good. Don't drown.
10.
10. You see them go off into the distance, and you hear the guards shouting below. They are clearly in hot pursuit, and they begin, "Someone's escaping! I think it's the Lord's son! Go, get him!" And you hear this, basically this rouse. They're calling up to these people at the top of the gate to no avail, as they are flat out, just absolutely wasted. These 2 guards here, they have started to begun to make their way as it is their turn. Up here. And there. Basically full out, well, I guess they can attempt to sprint out. These 2 sprint out the front door as they see Naladon vanish down the foothills of the Misty Mountains. That brings us to Feanor. Feanor, again, you are restrained. Fog is surrounding you. You hear calls all around you. Somewhat muffled, being beneath the waves, but it's loud enough for you to be able to hear. You can use your action to attempt to free yourself.
So I have like an arm free, at least, like trying to dig myself out. Like, is that assumed or no?
No. So, like, basically,
No. I'm fully
you're
bound. Okay, yeah. I was just trying
like,
to double check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fully submerged.
Okay. Well, yeah. He's just going to attempt to use his athletics to break out again.
All right.
A 9.
9. Unfortunately, you do still stay stuck down within the mud as you peer your head out and you begin to call.
Yeah. In one of those moments of his head being above the water, he's just going to whistle as loud as he can.
All right.
Like trying to call Nim.
Make an
It's not with the whistle, but yeah.
That's okay. Make an animal handling.
A 19.
19. You begin to hear hoofs in the distance. Make a initiative roll for me for Nim.
Let's freaking go. Oh
extra
my
stuff
gosh.
is- I want to see if he has a bonus to. Roll 20 being roll 20.
Are you using roll 20?
Sorry, I am not. I am using D&D Beyond.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, okay, so it's just a flat 20 for about a nat 20 for that.
All right, nat 20. You don't hear the gallops yet, but you have a feeling. Nim definitely heard that whistle. All right, which brings us to the top of the combat round, starting with Nim. With this being the case, we can go ahead and switch over.
Ooh, we're swapping maps, baby.
Oh god.
Guys, we succeeded. We actually succeeded in our plan. And
I
now
was
half the
so
party's
shocked.
drowning.
Horses sprinting. Crazy shenanigans.
half the party is being dragged into the bay. Unconscious.
You don't know where Theodric is yet. So, making your way down into the water. Jess is here. Valinith is here.
Wow, I'm so big.
Yeah, I know, compared to that other map. Where was my Feanor?
You're the size of a horse, apparently, comparative to the Nim token.
Yeah.
Feanor is down here. And then there's a lot of... we are at the guards and all of them. Theodric, you are not going to essentially join the initiative until
I get my wisdom saving
you
throw,
get your
right?
wisdom saving throw. So on your turn, I'm going to have you do your wisdom saving throw. So we're down to Feanor. So we have that. You just had your turn.
Yep.
Nim is coming, which brings us. Okay. Theodric, make a wisdom saving throw.
Get him, buddy.
Please. Hey, it's a 15.
In similar fashion, Theodric, you wake up. And you find that you are beneath the waves, or not beneath the waves, beneath the surface of the water. You are drowning. You look up to see mist surrounding you in all directions. And more importantly and more terrifyingly, you see a cold, skeletal hand grasping at you as you begin to... Basically, you can feel yourself being entombed in the mud. As you look up into its eyes, I'm going to have you make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Finally, a good roll. That's a 20.
And
Hey.
so with that, you basically look at it and you see that it is a spectral figure, something that you've never seen in your life before, as if only ghost stories. And you hear it begin to almost whisper to you, as if piercing your mind. Yeah, you're being entombed. You can take this moment to attempt to untomb yourself. You are currently restrained at the moment. You can take an action, make an athletics check.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Athletics, you said?
Yes, athletics.
That is a 22.
The 22.
I am strong.
You are strong. As you basically you look at this and just almost out of this fit of what the frick is going on, you begin to basically use your arms that have not been buried beneath the mud and scrape the mud off from around you in every direction. As you clamber to your knees, you can see this creature is bearing down at you. No. No! And it is going to cast against you spells of despair. Make a wisdom saving throw for me. What is your current shadow score?
My current shadow score is 6.
6. Okay.
And that wisdom saving throw was at a 19.
19. You look at it and you see in basically the sense of panic, but also renewed strength. You are not frightened of this creature, and you stand basically face to face, sword in hand, shield not.
Okay. My shield is AWOL, but my sword's good.
Oh wait, You gave your weapons away, didn't you?
Yeah, he doesn't
mean,
have his sword.
you have no
Yeah.
weapons.
I guess. I mean, I still have my belt dagger.
Okay, you have your belt dagger.
Okay. Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to call out for anyone. Valineth! Feanor! Jessamine! Hello? And
Where's Baradorok, by the way? Valdeth called him. Is he
Yeah,
just
this
chilling?
turn he's coming. Oh yeah,
Okay.
let me.
And upon not really getting anything back, he's just going to draw his belt dagger and just kind of like he's like kind of confused looking around, but he's just gonna point it at the wraith thing.
Yeah, this is a horrifying sight to see. It's amazing that you are actually not frightened per se of it. It's a spectral figure, and in the mist, it almost kind of blends transparently in with the surroundings around. All you can see is a physical manifestation of basically these cold, white, dripping dead hands with elongated claws. And where its face should be is a black mass with basically these white eyes, per se, like kind of like wisps pointing out of it. It doesn't have a mouth, it doesn't have anything, but it seems to be speaking to you.
I'm going to make an attack at it with my belt dagger.
I think you've used your action this turn. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, for that. And FYI, you have unburied yourself in the mud, but you are suffering from the same kind of thing as Jess. You can use an action to remove stuff from you, but all of your attack actions, basically physical actions that you want to attempt to grapple, whatever the case is, going to be a disadvantage until you spend an action to remove the mud from yourself.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so that's the case of where we're at right now.
Do I have movement left, or did I use that to get out?
You do have movement. It will get an opportunity attack if you want to move
Okay.
away.
I'm going to move away then. And you said I had about 5 feet. How much feet?
15 feet of movement.
My
that was,
normal feet?
Yeah, 15 feet.
Okay. He has no clue where anyone is. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
so
just
like basically you
woken
can see in like this general direction, like cardinal directions is what you can see.
up. I think he's gonna move back, like, because he can kind of see this rocky wall thing, and he would like his back towards that.
You begin.
So he's
to
gonna
s-
move there.
You begin to stumble backwards as, almost as if it manifests from out of nowhere. A spear comes into its hands and it stabs out in order to skewer you.
Man flesh.
Delicious. That is going to be a 15 to hit.
It does hit.
Does it? Okay. You basically take this spear to the chest as you begin backing up, receiving 8 points of magical piercing damage.
Okay.
Just and it doesn't feel sharp actually as it hits you, and it just like phases through you, but as it comes out, you have a gaping wound.
It's not right.
That is there. Yeah, it's not right at all. Awesome. So that's your turn. From what you can do.
Yep.
Unless you
Okay.
wish to move back further.
No. I'll stay there.
Valineth, it is your turn.
So at this point, does Valineth see anything?
Nope. You can only see in cardinal directions around you.
Well, he's still calling. I'm assuming he could hear Jessamine and Feanor and I guess Theodric at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does he hear Jessamine close by?
Yes, everybody seems close by. Like,
Well, he's gonna head towards the first voice I heard, Jessamine, knowing that she's a short queen and needs saving in water, probably more so than the others, and he'll head that way.
you basically walk immediately to your north. This
Mhm.
north up here. And you run into Jess. Jess is right there immediately. Basically waist level. Blindly walking around in this. Jess, you do see Valineth as well as you nearly collide into each other.
Jess, are you okay? I heard you screaming.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I think, oh, this mud is horrible. We need to find Theodoric and Vaynor. I had them around here somewhere.
I did too. And Valinith will point in the direction of the shore for her, in case so she just has a general understanding of it. And he is gonna save. Can he save the rest of his movement or not?
Yeah, if you absolutely can. If
To
you wish
walk
do so.
along with Jess on her turn, basically,
Okay.
wherever they're going. So
All right.
that's what he'll do. As
it
well
is-
as his action, he'll save.
It's Baradorok's turn, and so he is going to make a mad dash. 10, 20, 25, down to the water's edge. From the one thing that you have realized, aside from the what you had experienced back in full-fledged
Hago.
yeah, Hakel, is the bank itself is much further down, signs that the water has receded. And so it's a very slippery slope going down in that direction. But Baradorok is a big enough and strong enough creature that it should be no problem. However, climbing out is going to require an acrobatics check to do so.
There you go. There you
Uh,
go.
All right, and with that being the case, that brings us down to Jess.
Yeah, perfect. I would like to. I don't know how the help action would work in this particular scenario. Can I do a perception check to, like, see if I know which direction to walk in?
Make a perception check.
Perfect. Oh. 6.
Does Valinith help because of
Yeah, advantage.
because
You're,
he's
saving,
heard all
you're
of this
savoring
going
your
around?
movement
Yeah.
too to be able to
Yeah.
to walk.
Whoops. Thank you. My computer's being so slow right now.
That's a 20
Yeah,
on my
it's-
screen.
Oh, perfect. It popped up on
That's
your
great.
screen before it did on mine.
Yeah.
How ironic. Yeah, 20.
Right. You are currently searching for Theodoric and Feanor. The directions would be probably due north, which is this direction.
Yeah,
so you
sure.
can start making your way that way. You have about
Yeah.
15 or 10 feet of movement since you're a halfling. So,
25.
feet.
I can use my bonus action to dash, so 25.
okay. You start making your way down, so Valinith is able to make his way over. You have not noticed Feanor yet. However, Jess, you did see right here, Theodoric is standing with a belt dagger in his hand, facing off against something that is unseen. Do you wish to continue moving?
No, I'll stay and help Theodoric. Theodoric,
You wanna stay
Just
here,
mine.
Valinith?
you are
Yeah,
covered
stay
in
there.
mud.
Yep.
I am covered in mud, and I also got stabbed by a ghost thing.
Oh my god, are you okay?
I mean,
No, of course you're not. You got stabbed.
I got stabbed, but it's not that bad, honestly.
What do you mean? It's horrible. Here, have one of my daggers. You're not going to get very far with that small thing.
What
I'm just
happened?
passing one of my daggers.
We were in. Like, we've got to figure out what happened later, I guess. Have you seen everyone else?
Valinith.
I'm
was
right
standing
here.
right beside me.
I can
Okay.
hear you, Theodoric.
Oh, spectacular. And
I'm
any
right
sign
here.
of Feanor?
Nope. But we're looking.
Feanor, I'm assuming at this point you're still calling. You are very close to him, literally within the
Yeah.
immediate vicinity. So you guys know like he's around here, but you don't see him.
Can Valinith use his action in the with that since he withheld his action to search for what's his name, Feanor?
If
In
you're
the mud or
searching in
something?
this-
I'm gonna do,
if you're searching
actually.
in this immediate spot, you won't be able to find him. I will say that because he's 10 feet away, out of your line of sight. And touch.
Oh, okay.
Touch ruin.
Okay. All right.
If
Never
you,
mind
if
then.
you made
He's
your
just
way
gonna
up 15
looking.
feet, but again, there's no way of knowing he would be up there. Then I
Yeah.
would say you could do so. But
Well,
if you
he'll
want to
just
do
keep
so-
listening.
What I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna grab hold of Theodoric's hand and I'm gonna like hold hands with everybody.
Okay, perfect. You are the
Lions,
glue to
tigers,
keep
and
the
bears.
party
Oh my!
together.
Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! That's good.
Which brings us to Nim's turn. There are footsteps off in the far distance. He has not come onto the map this turn, but he is close by, and he will most likely the next turn. Which brings us to Feanor.
Just gonna keep trying to struggle out of this.
Athletics check.
I find it hilarious that I had an easier time with the mud that you're having right now.
Yeah.
He
a
is
10.
athletic.
A 10.
Oh my lord.
Sorry, 14. 14 with my modifier.
Yep. You are finally able to free yourself as you basically unrestrain yourself from your watery tomb. You're able to get up to your knees as finally able to not strain your neck to get a breath. And as you look around, you don't see anybody immediately, but again, you hear voices within very immediate approximation. You can start to hear splashes around of what is probably your party. Yes. So you still have that was half of your movement, which I guess technically that's half of your movement, so you don't have any more movement. So basically, you just. Sorry.
Yeah.
Diedrich shouldn't have been able to go backwards last turn. That's my bad.
Oh, they're good. Because we're in difficult terrain, aren't we?
Yeah,
Which
difficult terrain,
helps. Yeah. Just that'll explain why I've stood up. Oh god. Oh, I hate fog.
Yeah, it's intense. It's very, very intense. Which brings us down to boom. Jess.
Perfect. I think I'm just gonna like.
Oh no, Jess, make a wisdom saving.
Oh no, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Is he doing the double fake out? Are we gonna wake up back in?
No, I'm counting.
time?
Sorry.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Hang on, let me see.
It's
Wait.
what is this?
We
Inception?
just wake up back at camp.
Is the top still spinning?
Is it against Shadow?
It is not against Shadow now.
Okay, I had to ask.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good reminder. If you guys have anything like that and you're making certain checks, remind me of that. That's always helpful. So thank you.
Yeah.
11.
11. With that, you see the mist around you begins to move, almost in a swirling formation, and two spectral eyes begin to appear right in front of you, and manifest. You can see a cold, dead hands reaching out as if to grasp you. Both Valinith and Theodric are unable to see this. But it does reach out to grab you. It is going to make an attack against you.
Sweet.
Does a 15 hit?
It does.
It does. So it reaches out, its claws grasping at your throat, and you can feel this cold, dead hand begin to almost strangle you. And just you begin to choke as just on you're holding the hands on either side of your companions, and it begins to squeeze harder and harder and harder. And with its other hand, it just takes a giant swipe down at your face. Basically, these sharp claws gouging you. That is going to be 4 points of. We're not cutting. Piercing damage. Nope. Slashing.
Piercing or slashing? Yeah.
Slashing.
4 points?
4 points. And it looks
better.
at you in basically right in the eyes, and it says, all right.
I mean, I want to scream my head off, but if it's got me around the throat, that
Yeah,
makes
it's
it
like
difficult.
grasping you. Oh, and you're technically considered what is it called?
Grappled?
Grappled.
Yeah.
And with that, we move on down to Theodric. It is your turn.
Okay,
you look, basically, you can look over and you see basically this hand out of nowhere grasping Jess. You can see that, and Valinith, you can as well. But you can't see what it is. Theodric, you know what
Okay.
this is. Valinith,
Is
you
the
don't.
thing that stabbed me gone? or is like, can I still see the one that stabbed me, or is it just the one that's strangling Jess?
You have no way of knowing.
Okay. So I can only see the one that's got Jess.
You can see the hand that is grasping. You cannot see anything else. Basically, just hand floating out of nowhere, and basically, claws come down and cut across.
Am I close enough to make an attack?
If you move 5 feet up, you will be.
Okay, I'm going to move here and attack the hand. The hand.
Because you are caked in mud, this will be at disadvantage.
Okay. Does oh boy, does a 5 hit?
5 will not hit. As your dagger just into the ether.
Okay, as a could I, as a bonus, would cleaning the mud off me have to be a full action?
Yeah, it's your full action.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's my turn done, I guess.
All right, Valinith, it is your turn.
Valinith sees this, doesn't he? Does
Yeah,
he
you
also
see
see
the
Feanor
hand
at this
similar
point?
to Theodric.
Does he see Feanor at this point?
No, but you can hear him. He's very close, and you
Alright.
can tell that he stood up. He's basically called like he's within your general
Well,
vicinity.
since he's unable to actually see Feanor, he has got his bow in hand, in his other hand, so he's going to he's going to back up. He's gonna into this corner if he can.
I don't
He
think
doesn't
you'll be
see
able to
Feanor.
see anything because of the...
Yeah, so it's a 5 foot.
Yeah.
Basically, you can see within 5.
That's
feet
fine.
of you.
He's gonna move this way, and knowing the general direction of whatever's grabbing Jess, is gonna shoot at it.
As you attempt to move this way, you bump right into Feanor.
Whoa!
Stumble upon him.
Feanor! Well, glad you're here. We need your help.
I'm caked in mud. What's wrong?
There is some sort of undead wraith-like creature currently gouging out the eyes of our friend Jessamine.
And you
So
you're
matter
off
of
wandering in
fact.
the mist.
Well, I guess Valna technically this diagonal is what it is, right? So he can
Yeah,
still
so
shoot
you
at
can
it.
still shoot. It'll be at
Alright.
disadvantage still because you technically can't see it. So
Yeah, it's fine. He's
Why
gonna
are we-
shoot.
Why are we in the water?
I'm pretty sure you were dragged in by that thing. I happened to come across all of you. I wasn't dragged in. I think I was the only one not. And
Then we need to make our way to the land.
well, we do, but unfortunately, we have a problem. We have a problem. We need to free our friend. And Valnus is gonna make a shot towards the hands.
all right, go
With
ahead
his
and make an
bow.
attack against disadvantage.
Is it disadvantage? Okay. Why is it disadvantage? Just because I can't see him.
You can't see it technically.
Okay.
Not because it's invisible. It's just too far out of sight.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's not gonna hit. I don't even need to roll again. That's an 8 for the first one.
And so it's often basically your arrow flies off and you hear it kerplunk in the water. It has not released any kind of grasp upon Jinx.
And as a bonus action of sorts, is there any way Valinith can try to decipher what this thing is?
Make a
He's
shadow
got-
lore check.
He's got a thing called Eyes of the Unseen, which high elves can perceive creatures that dwell in the wraith world, be they spirits or ghosts, even when they are normally invisible to the eyes of the living. So does that mean I was able to see him?
No, I mean it's obscured by fog. So like
Okay, alright.
you're unable to see it because of the
Yeah. Including
Yeah.
unclad and invisible ring wraiths. Additionally, high elves are immune to frightened condition when the source of that condition is an undead creature. So,
make a shadow lore
Yeah.
check.
I'll make that shadow lore check, and hopefully it comes out good. Here we go. 9.
9. This thing is definitely some kind of spectral entity. It doesn't seem to have any kind of outside of its hands, from what you can tell, from what you've been able to see. Doesn't have seem to have any kind of physical form. But other than that, yeah, this is This is a creature of shadow. Absolutely. You
All
are not
right.
frightened of it. So whatever information that gives you.
And Valineth distributes. Well, this is obviously a creature that is invisible to the eye, but I can definitely sense it is shadow. And as in case anyone else wanted to know that, this is.
Oh,
not
really? You
something
don't say so.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
well. Well, I couldn't have told you that myself.
No, that's what the 7
Thanks for the heads up. I'll keep it in mind.
All right.
Valineth gives him a thumbs up.
Which brings us to Baradorok. Theodric, what are you doing with Baradorok?
Okay, Baradorok is going to, I'd say, wait, how much movement's he got? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
And that's going to be his max movement.
and yeah, he's just gonna hold there for now.
You see this giant horse make its way up to the side of you, Valineth and Feanor. Yeah, this is something. Baradorok has come heroically to your side.
What a good boy. What a good
Jess,
boy.
it is your turn.
All right.
So currently you
Alright,
are grappled.
Yes, but I can still attack it. So I'm
Yes.
just gonna reach down, grab my sword, and go.
All right, absolutely. So you grab your sword and slash up at this creature as its face looms closer and closer to you.
Let's see how we do. Attack. That's not bad. That's a 14.
A 14 will hit.
Oh.
Excellent.
Go ahead.
I have Theodric like right next to me, don't I?
You do.
Within 5 feet of the creature.
Within 5
Yes.
feet. He's 10 feet away from you, but within 5 feet of the creature.
I hit him with sneak attack.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and roll your
Alright.
damage.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
So 5 plus 7 plus 10. 17.
17
Whoa.
points of damage.
Oof,
Yeah.
what the
Whoa.
Sneak attack,
Dealing
baby!
more damage than the rest of us can in a single round.
You slash up at basically this incorporeal form as the blade itself dissipates the arm and the hand blinks out and it reappears in front. You seem to have done damage to it, but it is still there.
Sweet.
Is it still
It is
grappling
still
me?
there. It is not grappling you. It is
Oh,
ungrappled. Yeah.
right. If I try and hide in the fog, that means I can't see it as well as it can't
Yes.
see me, right? Okay.
Bold of you to assume that it needs to be able to see.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Wraith.
But if you do manage to hide in the fog, you can sneak attack.
I don't
See,
need to
right?
hide in order to sneak attack as long as I have someone within 5 feet of it.
Oh,
Um,
fair enough.
Theodric, do you wanna grab my sword? If I pass Theodric my sword, can I do
I'm probably gonna spend my next turn getting this mud off me.
that? Yeah, okay, that's fine. In that case, I'll use my offhand to draw my dagger.
All right, you do so. With that being the case, we bump down all the way to the end of the combat round. So Nim, heroically, makes his way onto the battle. He has 25 feet of movement, Fangor. I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me.
Yep. Okay. 14.
14. He knows the general direction of where that whistle is from. His senses are attuned enough to be able to perceive that. So with 25 feet of movement, you can move however you want with him.
Just keep him moving up the path like another 10 feet, and then the rest of his movement will just be spent going directly right, like towards the. Yeah.
Right? And so he makes his way over in that direction, which brings us to Feanor. So you are up, covered
Feanor-
in mud.
Yeah, Feanor is going to use his turn to clear the mud away, but he is also going to like move inwards to like Valinus said that there was like something in that
Thing.
direction attacking our friends. So yeah, his turn is like done. He can't do anything else, but he is now also flanking this creature. If he can see.
Go ahead and make a. What's your shadow score?
My points of shadow.
Points of shadow. How many of them?
Just double checking. 6.
6. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw for me.
A 9.
9. You see this spectral thing, and you've never seen anything like this. This is your first probably experience of encountering a ghost-like creature in any way. You are frightened of it, and basically on your turn, you can spend the bonus action to repeat the wisdom saving throw to become unfrightened of it.
Does that just mean I have like disadvantage to attack it, or?
Yeah, so basically you can't willingly go closer to it. Fortunately, you're already within 5 feet, so you can attack it, so you have disadvantage. But if it somehow is able to move away, you have to basically repeat a wisdom saving. Or no, you basically just can't get
To get any closer of it, I just need to overcome the frighten. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, I can do that.
Sweet. And
There's nothing else I can do, so.
Yep.
If anything, actually, if I have the action, like a bonus action, I'd probably draw my spear.
You do so. Theodoric, it is your turn.
Okay.
Oh, I lied.
No.
It is this thing's turn.
Oh.
I got confused. Alright, with that being the case, it sees that you are coming from all sides, beginning to kind of surround it. It is going to...
If it tries to flee, we're all gonna get an attack of opportunity against it.
It is a ghost. It might have something for that.
It'll just disappear.
Yeah, and so it's going to go ahead. I have to make a roll first real quick. What is everybody's passive perception?
Roll good.
Not valid.
Oh, an 11.
Darn it!
An 11.
Mine's the same. 11.
Also 11, yeah. 11 gay.
Alice, like, what's happening?
It disappears into basically a shadow.
Damn.
This
I think that's how
technically
you to leave.
counts as a disengage, but yeah, it basically vanishes.
I also think that it's our cue to leave.
Okay, back to the shore.
And it manifests itself right behind Feanor. It's gonna go ahead and take its spear, and thrust it into you, Feanor. So it's gonna be.
Wait.
And I'll literally turn and it's like, back to the shore. Oh my god!
Yeah. 17 will that.
That matches.
That is going to be 10 points of magical piercing damage as it just and it basically pulls its spear out. Baradrock does see this creature. Baradrock has to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
How do I do that with his stats?
Just a wisdom check.
Okay, just on.
Yeah. You might also just roll his wisdom stat, unless on the stat block it says you have advantage, like specifically you can do that.
Okay.
You just use your flat wisdom.
That is a 7.
7. Immediately, Baradrock he begins wheeling around, and he sees that this creature begins to just start stabbing the ether in front of it, and Baradrock is now frightened of it. Again, it can still make it attacks. It's going to be at disadvantage against the creature until it is he's no longer unfrightened. He can use a bonus action to repeat the saving throw on his turn, which does bring us to Theodoric.
Okay. Theodoric, upon seeing this thing vanish and then reappear behind. Actually, have I seen it reappear behind Feanor, or is it
You
too
have
far
not,
away?
but I can assume that you guys
I
can
hear
probably
Feanor
call out
get
that like
stabbed.
things. It's like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
here, he's here, he's here. That's like non-action stuff. So
Okay, I'm gonna take my action to get all the mud off me,
okay,
and then I'm going to move the 5 feet here.
Okay.
I'm going to. I gave all my stuff to Feanor, specifically
Yeah.
my sword and shield.
And all of the gear is back at outside of what he was carrying on him. Were you carrying it on him, or did you store it in the backpack?
I mean,
I had the shield and sword on me because if I,
So he
it's like-
has
'cause
them.
that was
Yeah.
I was holding it all because I was expecting if we had to make a quick getaway, it wasn't only if Theodrix and stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect.
okay. I'm going to rearm from get my gear off Feanor.
Okay.
So now have my great shield back and my wonderful, wonderful longsword.
Perfect.
And I'm going to essentially turn to Jessamine and Valineth. Or I'm gonna call so that everyone can hear. Do we know that, like, we can hear Nim coming towards us, right?
Probably Theodric, Jess, and Valineth. You probably wouldn't be able to know so, but Valineth, you definitely, or sorry, Feanor, you definitely can know that he's on his way. So chances
Yeah.
are, probably you guys wouldn't know that Nim is coming.
Okay. And Theodric's going to go. Jess, Valineth, you should probably try to mount up on Barada and get back to camp. If this thing is like most ghosts from the stories, it's not going to like our campfire. And
Sure.
I think
It's true.
that's how I'm going to end my turn. I'm just going to
Perfect.
end it there.
Which then brings us to Valineth.
Valineth is just frustrated at this point. He's like, "This is freaking! I can't do anything. This sucks. I can't see anything. This is the worst." He's gonna take a torch out of his backpack and light it.
So, fortunately, Valineth, you're the only one who is not
Yep.
wet, meaning you are able to do so normally.
Yep.
As you do so, you begin as your action. So, basically,
Mhm.
bonus action, boom, grab the torch.
Yep.
Action, lit up.
Light it.
Everything within 15 feet of you is now lit up and dissipated. Everybody can see this ghosty poo now.
And Valineth's like, "Have at him." Can
all right.
Valineth move and try to poke him with it?
Yeah, you can move. So you probably wouldn't
Oh,
be
I
able to
can't
make
poke,
an
though,
attack
yeah.
with it, but you can
That's
move.
true. Yeah. Well, he's going to get close to Barada.
You're within 5
If he
feet of
can.
Barada.
Yep, and that's where he's gonna stay.
Okay, perfect. It is Barada's turn. So if he wants to make attacks, they're going to be at disadvantage.
Barada, I guess, is going to make an attack.
All right.
What he's got going on. So 2d6. Fine. I think it's just a roll of 20. A d20 for Barada. Where is it? There we go. Oh, wow. Okay, 18 plus 5. So that is a 23 to hit.
Was that a disadvantage?
Oh, no, sorry. I forgot about the disadvantage. How do I do disadvantage on my
Just-
d20s?
Just do 2
Oh,
rolls. and-
right click.
Yeah, you can also.
By the way, Kyle, we can hardly hear you.
Oh, really? Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
We're
here it
good.
comes.
Okay,
Hi. How's it going?
okay, sorry. That's a 9 to hit now.
9 does not hit, unfortunately.
Damn it.
All right, which brings us down to Feanor.
Feanor actually being able to.
Oh, no, I lied. Jess. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
There's
nice.
lots of animals on my
Gives me more time to plan,
To contemplate.
to
Perfect.
scheme.
So I can move through other people's
Yeah, you can.
spaces, which is very good for me. So I'd like to come around. What is it? 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, I might have to use a dash to get there, but I'd like to put myself on this side of him.
You do so.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Would that have been a bonus action to dash because of the difficult terrain?
Yeah, sure. Why
So
not?
was
Still bonus action. That's fine.
Yeah, bonus action. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and I'll take another stab at him with my short sword
Alright.
because that worked so well.
This is going to
last
be
time.
at disadvantage because you still got stuff all over you.
No, I don't.
No, she cleared it up. And she
I
first got
lied
over.
then. You don't have stuff all over you. Go ahead and make your attack.
This is a sneak attack again, by the way.
You think Jess is going to leave mud on herself? You are
Yeah,
very
probably
much
not.
mistaken, my friend.
It's really good Valineth wasn't in the mud, or else he would have been petrified, unable to continue.
He's already
That's a 22
petrified
to
that his
hit.
boot.
22 is definitely going to hit.
Yeah. And I get sneak attack again.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
So that's 13 damage.
All right.
Dang.
Jess is the one who sneaks up on the ghosts in the slasher films.
Yeah, like Achilles, tendon back that hamstring
Just so
on
you
the back
have
of the
tendon.
leg.
Yeah, you do, and you sneak up on it and kind of just begin to, you basically make a cut at like the lower part of its body. You don't feel any resistance as your sword phases through it, but it does hisses as it turns its head towards you.
I hiss back.
Which brings us to Feanor, finally at the top of the
Okay. Feanor is actually going to disengage
Okay.
and actually move 5 feet down so that he's the 10 feet away from it. But there's nothing else he can do in his turn, so he's going to just do that. He can still see it though because of the light from the torch, correct?
That is correct.
Yes. Okay, yeah. He didn't like. I'm playing as the frightened. He's moved away a little bit just to have a bit more space with his great spear. That he's
Perfect. And with that, that brings us to this guy's turn. You can see that it attempts to flicker away, but in the firelight, and is unable to do so. It's unable to completely go into its spectral form, and so it's frustrated by such things. It is going to. It's going to make an attack against Jess. It's going to use its spear, summing it out. It's going to make a jab at you, Jess. And that is going to be a 22 to hit.
Lord.
Oh yeah, that hit.
That is going to be 11 points of non-magical slashing damage, or magical slashing damage. As it slashes
11?
11 points.
Ow.
Max damage. Sorry.
I am very much hurt. You know what? I can dish it out. I can take it.
True.
Don't much of it, but
Another character. Let's get a third one going.
Yeah, and that's going to be its turn, which brings us to Theodric.
Okay. Theodric is going to move into the gap that Feanor kindly left him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to take a swing with his sword.
All right, go ahead and do so. It is in the firelight, so you can see it. I guess you could see it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does an 11 hit?
An 11 does not hit.
Damn. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if it's worth burning a rage on this. Probably not.
Are you frightened of it, or was that Feanor?
No, that was Feanor.
I'm frightened.
Yeah, Feanor and Baraka.
Because if you're in rage, I'm pretty sure you can't be frightened of things.
Yeah.
I think so. Or at least things have disadvantage on it. I'll double check actually while he's.
Yeah, I think as a bonus action, can I ready something for or no?
What were you planning?
It's nothing big, but after missing Theodric's just kind of like tighten his defenses a bit, raise his shield.
Okay, that just kind of normal stuff. You don't have to take an action to do that. You're pretty well prepared for any kind of.
Unless he wants to grab Valineth's torch.
Yeah, you could do
Well,
that
he
too.
can.
My hands are currently full of shield and sword.
True.
Did
That's
you
fine.
use an action already?
I
Theodric?
attacked.
To attack.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and missed. I whiffed immediately. Okay, yeah, that's my turn.
Valineth, it is your turn. and upon seeing this creature, what you see is actually different than what everyone else sees. You see this flickering gray spectral figure. You can see an entire form of its body. It looks to be a man. He's got flowing black hair and he's got deep black eyes. He is clad in what looks to be basically like a corselet of mail, and he's got a spear on him. He looks to be a warrior of some kind, but he looks directly, basically, after slashing at Jess, he looks directly at you, and he says,
Yeah. And Valinus shouts, "Who do you serve?" As he looks to Theodric, he's like, "Can I get on board?"
Yeah.
Okay. Brodrock, can I get on you? Well, we're here to free you, my friend. And Valinus stabs him in the face with a torch. If he can.
the torch, so you climb up onto Broadrug.
Yeah, just bah.
All right,
Shakes
go
it
ahead and
towards
make
him.
your attack at advantage.
All right, what kind of...
It's just a base.
D20? No pluses or anything? Okay.
It's an
Straight
unarmed attack, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, that's how you've ruled it in the past.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
when I've used it's like an improvised weapon
if
slash.
you have,
Yeah.
if
Okay.
you have an unarmed attack, roll that.
I do, hey.
And it's gonna be at
And
advantage.
then, if it's something that can be burnt, I believe it was also roll a d4 on a 4, it catches a light.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you hit with
Yeah.
it on a, you basically
Yes.
get your what is it? Your strength modifier plus your biggest roll d4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was 12 to hit.
12 will not.
Gosh darn it. Well, he's waving it towards the dude.
Yeah,
Blah, blah.
it doesn't seem- but that brings us down to Baradara.
Is he feeling brave with Valinus on him?
He will make the attack. I really want to make the attack, but that means Valinus gonna have to use a DC dexterity saving throw to stay on top.
That's
Oh, that might put the fire out if he falls. So.
Exactly. What's your dexterity? What's your dexterity?
Surprisingly, it's a +2 that I have.
Okay.
If you want to, you could try. I'm not gonna say no to that.
Okay.
I don't know what he was getting into when he got on top of.
So wait, is this an advantage or disadvantage? Barodorok is going to disengage, and he's going to just move back to. Oh, I'll transmit my just to about here-ish, just close enough that he's still in the firelight, like the enemy's still kept in the firelight, but far enough that yeah.
Yep, got it. Sweet, Jess,
I like it.
it's your turn.
Cool.
Another big sneak attack. More big numbers from Jess.
Another big sneak attack.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah. Well, let's see if I can hit him first. Nope. I got a 6, so that's not gonna work.
Unfortunately, that's not gonna work.
I am very much hurt, guys. Let's
You know,
see.
be that way
We need to
sometimes.
disengage.
Yeah.
Move closer to the shoreline. If we can all make it to the shoreline, hopefully we can all, 1, be out of the water, 2, closer to a large fire.
I think that's gonna be the go for me. Yeah, so I'll use my bonus action to disengage. How far do I get? Like 10 feet?
Right,
Yeah, that'll work.
there you go. Which brings us to the bottom of the round, Nim.
It's
I guess top
Nim's
of the
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
honestly, Nim is probably just going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35. Just going to come right up behind it, like just on the left of it. It's okay. So wait, that's rough terrain. 5, 10, 30.
You broadcast it out. I can see.
Apologies. I want to see if Nim could make it to here. So you go diagonally down 10 first, and then just straight.
10,
'Cause that's
15,
all- yeah. 30, 40.
Yep.
Because that's exactly actually I think where Feanor was when he woke up, when he was in the water.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly where he was. I'm gonna have Nim make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Yep.
Valin's just looking at everyone. Was like, "What's so scary about this thing? He's just a dead dude."
Big money.
A 12.
12. Nim fearlessly charges in.
I would like to do my charge attack against it.
All right.
Because he moved more than 20 feet in a straight line.
Yep,
Yep.
Gore him.
Okay, so he's going to. Sorry, I'm just still checking all my stuff to make sure I'm getting it correct. Antlers, it's a +5 to hit. Okay, so does 15 hit?
15 hits.
Okay,
Sweet.
cool. Can you please make a strength saving throw for me?
Will do just that. To be a 13.
So I'm pretty sure you don't get knocked over. Yeah, if you'd failed, you would have gotten knocked prone.
Perfect.
So I'll quickly roll the damage for that. You take 12 damage.
Oh, that's pretty good.
We're all some
12
good damage today.
yes.
Really good.
I know.
Yeah, I love it.
Basically, Nim just charging in, boom, bores the thing. It moves back a little bit, but again, his antlers hit nothing. As it again is like flickering almost in the light. Valinith, one thing that you can see as all of these attacks are being landed against it, you can see that it's beginning to bleed, like almost like this spectral blood. You are able to see within the ring. And
Yeah.
from its point of view, basically, you are basically this big glowing beacon.
Sweet. I like it.
What it is.
So I'm their bane, basically. I just walk up to it, give it a big old hug, and it can't see anything.
Yeah, for sure. But that does bring us to Feanor, so it's Feanor's turn.
Cool. Well, Feanor is just going to, because it is proper flanked, he's going to see if he can attack it, and would that negate the disadvantage
That would
he
negate
has?
the disadvantage, yes.
Okay, so I'll just make a flat roll. He's going to attempt to hit it with his great spear,
Okay.
and he got an 8.
8 will unfortunately
Sweet.
not hit. Brings us to this guy. He looks around at all of you. You're unable to sense any kind of emotion. However, Valinith, make an insight check for me.
Insight. He's probably real scared. I can imagine. Let's see. That's a 17.
Too bright! and it
I like it.
begins basically shaking its voice as it seeks to be in a panic. Yeah, and we're going to go ahead and make attacks, spear attacks. Yeah, he'll make it at Nim. Nim just did a lot to him, so. And he got a
Poor
natural
Nim.
20, so that's gonna be 11 non-magical. Slashing
Yep.
damage.
Nim just gets freaking wrecked every time he's in battle, doesn't he?
Yeah, I really hope at some point to like buff him
There are
Can.
potentials during fellowship phases if you want to do trainings. There's ways to be able to increase the prowess of your mounts. Just FYI.
Yeah.
But that's like an entire fellowship phase. So.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah, Nim's not looking.
Theodric, it is your
Join the
turn.
club.
I am going to once again swing my sword.
Attempt the boop. Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to attempt the boop. Does 13 hit?
A 13 does not hit.
Oh,
Was that an advantage? Did you roll that at advantage?
Oh, do I have advantage?
It's flanked,
Oh.
so you would do.
Yeah, no. I still don't hit.
my
I
goodness.
think. Is advantage literally just roll 2 dice and take whichever one's higher?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. No, 13.
Unfortunately, that does not hit. But that brings us down to Valinith.
Yeah. So does Valinith get advantage too if he hits the thing? If he's flanked, even if he's shooting?
yeah,
arrows?
You can see him now. But you have your one hand has a torch.
Well, yeah, he's gonna
he gets
secure it into the saddle of Baradrock.
Make an acrobatics check for me.
He's gonna be like, hey,
Secure it
Um,
into the saddle.
I don't know. Oh, that's a natural one.
Yeah, it goes tumbling and extinguishes into the.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Valinith, what are you doing?
We'll shoot at it
All right.
with his bow.
Disadvantage.
Oh gosh, darn it! Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
He can't see it anymore, can he? Because it's 10 feet away from him.
Yeah, so he's just shooting into the mist.
Yeah, that's a 10 to hit.
10 is not. As he down into the ground.
Sorry, guys.
Baradrock.
Gosh.
The darkness suddenly descends upon the battlefield.
Okay. Jessamine is trying to not flee the battle, but get away from the thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. Okay.
I mean, I'm there.
Moving. Moving slowly.
Well,
So you do-
next turn I'll be able to get another torch going.
Okay.
It's not like we're so
I
out
still
of luck.
recommend we get to the land, because then you can throw torches on the ground and they won't go out.
Okay.
They just get brighter.
Theodric is going to be like, Brodrock, go get Jess. Go get Jess. And Brodrock is going to
Make a perception check with Baradrock.
perception check.
For
10.
Wisdom. Yeah, 10. And Valinith, riding valiantly on top, makes its way over to Jess, and you see Baradrock come into view. Jess.
Perfect.
Jess, it is your turn.
Perfect. It's probably gonna be my whole turn. I definitely can't get up on Baradrock. He's too tall for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my sword and my dagger away, and I'm gonna rifle through my backpack and fetch out my lantern. I have a hooded lantern.
Okay.
And if I could light that this turn, that would be excellent.
Okay, so with the lanterns, you have to have lantern oil, so you can spend a bonus
do.
action to add lantern oil to it if you have it with you, and then
Yep.
Your action would be to light it.
Okay. Okay.
I believe it's a hooded lantern.
It's a hooded lantern, so bright light for 30 feet radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet.
Perfect.
Pretty darn
the entire
good.
area is lit up.
Yeah.
This creature is now visible from what you all can see.
By the way, Kyle, I have to head out.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I know it's late.
And now that a
It's so-
lantern is lit, just shoot Valinith bows at him. It'll be good.
It sounds good.
From his
Yeah.
heightened position on top of Roro.
We're good.
All right.
See you guys. Sorry.
Yep. See ya.
Later.
Sleep well.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to Nim.
Nim is actually probably going to disengage and like after being hit so hard, and is just going to move upwards back towards the shore, until they're on dry land.
All right, so he makes his way over to the shoreline. The shoreline, again, it's going to require a acrobatics check if you want to make your way up for basically
yeah.
the 10 feet you move. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check for me.
I thought you said the mounts wouldn't have to make that because they're big enough.
I don't think I said that. Going downwards.
I don't remember him saying.
Going
going
downwards, they were
Okay.
fine. Everyone was fine.
I got a athletics. Is athletics dex or
acrobatics.
strength?
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics. So that would be a
That's
dex.
dex.
It's dex,
Fine.
yeah.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I just wanted to check that. 14.
14, very easily able to make its way up. So.
Yeah, but he's going to wait like there if need be. Like for any. help.
Awesome. With that, that's going to bring us down to Feanor.
Feanor is just going to attempt to hit this thing again with his spear.
All right, this is going to be disadvantage.
Actually,
since
can
it's
I use my bonus action to see if I overcome the
Yes.
frighten? Because I
Wisdom
didn't do that
saving
last
throw.
round, but
Mhm.
that is what it is. Natural 1 for a 2,
Yeah, that will not do it.
and I'm gonna attempt to just stab it again.
All right, disadvantage because it's no longer frightened.
Yes.
Why is it? Oh yeah, because it's frightened. Duh.
18.
18.
That's going to hit.
Cool, and that will deal 8 damage.
8 damage. Awesome. In the torchlight, you can see that it's, again, continuously attempting to flicker away. It calls out to all of you. You're able to hear, too bright, too bright, too bright. And he is going to attempt to disengage and flee the combat. So he's going to use his action to disengage, and then he's going to start moving.
I'll just ask, does disengage apply to both Theodric and me when he goes to move?
Technically,
or
yes.
does
If
it
you've
only
got
have-
your reach weapon, it does.
Yeah, I was just checking to see if it applied to all enemies who can currently hit you or just the one. So I just wasn't sure how you played.
I would assume it'd be all enemies.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
that's
that's
fine.
how we've been doing
That's cool.
it.
Yeah.
I just don't remember people disengaging while having multiple. It's cool.
Yeah. So
I just wanted to double check to make sure I didn't get to attempt to whack him.
so he's gonna go ahead and disengage them. And he essentially disappears into the shadow and into the darkness. I'm gonna have each one of you make a perception check. I'll do it.
Can you do Valinance for his? Thank you.
But I'll roll another one. Valent has like a +5, doesn't he?
+5, yeah.
So yeah, I rolled 2.
10.
I got an 18. Valenus, you rolled a 10 for him.
I got a 4.
7.
18.
18, Feanor. Feanor, you know the general direction that he is running off in. Everybody else loses sight of him, and the overwhelming sense of presence seems to be going. He seems to be fleeing. Do you wish to chase it down or let it go?
I'll probably do like one shot off with my bow if I can.
Okay. You can make a
as a
shot.
short
It's going to
range
be a disadvantage.
That's fine.
That'll hit.
Disadvantage, it's an 11.
11. That will not hit.
Instead of the 23 that I would have otherwise had.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The question is, you still have a general idea of where it is. Do you want to let it go, or do you want to?
At the moment, with everyone a bit like battered and bruised, he's more focused on like getting everyone onto shore and let's get our stuff and move on from this place.
And with that, the combat ends, and we will end our session there.
Everyone's going to give Feanor so much crap for falling asleep on.
No.
This is magic shenanigans. No one will blame you for falling victim to magic shenanigans.
All right, it is late. I know it's quite a bit past our normal ending time, so let's go ahead and
Oh.
jump right into. Yeah, I know. Let's go ahead and
An
jump
hour
right
later
into
than I
thoughts.
thought.
Are we
Oh,
are we
tonight.
doing session thoughts tonight, or is it
Yeah,
too
we'll
late?
do really quick. If you guys have a couple quick things that pop out to you, session thoughts, and then we'll close this guy down. Let's start
Yep.
with Theodric.
I liked tonight's session. It went in a direction I wasn't expecting. I was super stoked with how our rescue mission, escape mission, I guess,
Yeah, it
went.
went super well. Pretty
It went-
unhindered.
Pretty much unhindered. I think the only thing that really threw me was I was hoping that the guards near Valineth would be distracted by the bonfire for more than one turn, but you can't have everything. Otherwise, everything went perfectly. To be completely honest.
Yeah, you guys did a good job. You did a lot of good planning for it. I know it's been kind of like a couple of sessions leading up to that. It's nice to see the plans follow through, right?
Right? It felt
it was-
really good.
yeah.
It felt so good to just see the plan,
For sure.
like, pretty much go off without a hitch. I think it was probably pretty funny. Valineth unintentionally just vanishing and everyone being like, and it just being the ultimate distraction.
Yeah, really.
Which was phenomenal. But I also do feel bad for Caleb and
Thalissa.
Thalissa
Mm-hmm.
for just watching Fëanor just kind of Thanos snap in front of them, and they're all just like, "What the?"
He
What
handed him
happened
the
there?
water skin and went, "It'll be okay." Gone.
And gone, right? You've mentally traumatized my ancestor. Thank you, Fëanor.
If he is indeed your ancestor.
By the
If
way,
he
a
isn't.
little behind the scenes when it came to all of you guys. So this was sessions ago, but maybe a couple sessions ago, when you guys were being succumbed to like the drowning and mechanisms for that. That was actually all random selection, and so like I rolled a d4. I signed you all a number. Jess was the first to come up. Then it was Fëanor. Then it was Theodric, and then it was Valineth. And so based off of that, you guys were starting to see symptoms earlier. In kind of like that whole sequence, and then also in the reverse order, that's when per turn, once like the initiative happened, per turn, that's when like starting from the last person, they start rolling, and then every turn, if they fail their wisdom saving throw, they stay put. And so like it kind of put like a time or two on like the escape plan as well. Which again, thank goodness Valineth got off what he wanted to do, because he basically blipped out of existence as soon as he did that. So
Right?
it worked out, I
I'm kind
guess.
of grateful I failed my wisdom saving throws so often that I had enough time to open the gate before I vanished.
I was the most nervous about you, Theodric, because I was like, you are literally the mechanism to open this.
Yeah,
So what happens if that doesn't?
but it
So,
went well.
That worked out. Yeah, that absolutely worked
Yeah.
out.
But yeah, good session, as
session.
always.
Jess, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just say a couple of things really quickly and then I'll head off because I'm sleepy. It was a great session. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Like, we talked a bit about the planning aspect of it, and it's so wild that the plan actually went according to plan, because if I know one thing about D&D is that things that never go to plan, like a party will literally sit and plan for like 5 or 6 hours, and then combat will happen or something will go wrong, and it just doesn't work out sometimes. And that's just how it is. But this went flawlessly. We were Oceaning 11's this thing. I haven't seen the movie, but anyway, I was so
Flawless.
annoyed because I was doing so well and I had a plan of what I was going to do. Like, I was going to do the rope thing, and then depending on where Theodric was at, I was maybe going to cut the bell, like to make sure that was disabled. And then I was actually planning on grabbing the ladder from like that little section and just like so the guards wouldn't have an easy way up.
Just yeeting
but-
it. Ugh. Get out of here.
No, just like literally just pulling it up and being
Nice.
a little chaos gremlin. But like my face when you pulled the plot twist of just like, oh yeah, Valinor just disappears. It was so wild. Like essentially, he was at the end of this big speech at a party, and then he vanishes. He pulled a Bilbo.
He Bilbo'd
He's
before
literally
Bilbo
Bilbo'd.
Bilbo'd.
Huh?
He Bilbo'd before
This was
Bilbo.
like pre.
Bilbo'd. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
No, I knew this was all going to happen, but I wasn't sure at what order and when it was going to. And so I was like, let's see. I know Valineth has a really high wisdom, and so he didn't get his chance to do his dance battle. Hopefully he's fine with that. But
That's the real reason he left early. He had to.
he was like, oh, I didn't get a chance to
I
show
mean,
my skills.
actually, if you look at the time, he actually left later than he normally
super late,
does.
way later. He was super invested. So
He's currently punch dancing out his frustration in his living room.
he's like, I'm not getting any
Yeah,
sleep tonight.
but like everything considered, the plan went so smoothly.
Yeah,
it
it
was
did.
actually incredible.
Well done to all of you.
And yeah, it was
good
like a
planning,
little.
good rolls.
Oh my gosh, I'm actually so excited that Jess has finally got to like unleash her full potential with like the sneak attacks and everything.
Sneak
I'm
We're
attacks.
dealing more.
so-
I think you were dealing more damage than any of the rest of us can do in a
Yeah,
single
because like that's
Even
sort of the
critting.
thing that rogues do, and
Hmm.
that's what makes them like more powerful, especially in the early game.
Mhm.
Is they only get one attack as opposed to like fighters who get like so many, or like
Those are like 5
um,
eventually.
yeah, or like barbarians can do like you know,
Rage or bonus
unrelenting
action,
rage
unrelenting,
or
Yeah, we
you
can just
know,
give ourselves
like
advantage
reckless
on it.
attacks and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We just do one thing and we do it just snipe.
You poke really
Um,
hard.
But yeah, like an extra 2d6 damage for a thing, yeah, it adds up.
Yeah, it does.
Especially in like these early levels when you only got so many things. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
I was really happy about that actually.
Isn't it nice when like your character actually does what you want it to do?
Yeah.
Whether it's planning or whether it's actually like, wow, I was useful in combat or whatever the case. I mean, that does obviously it doesn't happen every combat, but it's nice when, you know, a session goes and you're just like, wow, that's what my character can do. This is great.
The most satisfying thing, like people say that monks, for instance, aren't built very well in 5e, but the feeling that you get when someone like throws an arrow or shoots a gun at you and you
And
catch
just
it
catch
and
it?
throw
Oh.
it back,
Ah,
it's so freaking satisfying. Yeah. Anyway,
Good. I'm happy to hear
that's-
that it was a good
that's-
session for you. I agree. It went really well. It was fun to see Jess at her finest. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. For sure.
It was so good. She's in an element right now.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's all I want to say. So I will
Fatal.
head off.
Yeah,
Wish
thank
you
you
good
so
night.
much. I appreciate you for hanging around. It was a good session. You sleep well.
Bye guys.
yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed the session. I know I missed last week, so I wasn't able to do as much in the planning. But I think it was really funny to me that it's like Valineth does his part, boop, pops out of existence. Jess is about to do her part, boop, out of existence. Fëanor gets them to where they need to be, out of existence. Like it just, if any of that order had been even slightly wrong, like slightly different, the entire plan would have been messed up.
Yep.
It's
Yeah, no,
phenomenal.
Fëanor's definitely going to be like, I had the weirdest dream last night. And yeah, he's going to say, I told you so to everyone, that this isn't real. It's all a magically induced dream. But no, genuinely, it was very fun to go through like the whole scenario and see how it played out in the end. And then to wake up and it's like, oh, I'm drowning. And I'm like, okay, cool. Glad to see that me throwing up water wasn't just a side effect of something.
Of sketchy beer.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Fëanor's going to be like, yeah, I knew I had a stronger gut than that. But no, it was also good to see whatever that was attacking us show up. Got to keep an eye out for that now when we go to sleep. But no,
sure.
it'll be interesting to see where we all go from here and how that's going to affect our things further on in the adventure.
For sure. I one of the things that I thoroughly enjoyed seeing all of you kind of just like figure this out is during that whole process when you were all blipping away, none of you were able to see that it was happening. And so as far as like all of you knew, like the plan was just going as planned. And it turned out like it did go as planned, but it's just like it's crazy to think that like there was like a period of time where it's like, oh, Valineth's gone, oh, Jess is gone, oh, Feanor's gone, and literally it relied down to Theodric. And in his mind, he's like, this went perfectly as planned. Like everyone did their jobs, which they did. But yeah, that was actually quite entertaining for me to see and to be able to.
Theodric managed to watch them cross out the gate and take off down the road, and he was like, "Yeah, that did what with him." Woke up drowning.
Exactly. It was a good session. Thank you guys so much. It was amazing. You guys are so fun to be able to throw these scenarios at and see kind of just how you guys deal with the world of Middle Earth. But we do have a few things going for the rest of the week. So Cole actually will be doing the Cole Forge. He'll be doing his first inaugural stream later today at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. So check him out. That should be super cool. And then Dain will be doing his normal Saturday and Thursday streams as well. So make sure to go watch him for that. Daisnaki is our sponsor. They're a Japanese sweets and luxury treats company. They serve popular Japanese sweets boxes in their omakase box, traditional Japanese sweets boxes in their omakase lux box, and then also kawaii snacks in their kawaii box. And yeah, they've got all kinds of stuff going on for the all of your anime and Japanese delicious snack needs. If you do order from them, say that Fantasy Forge sent you, it does help us out. And if you put your Twitch name, you will get tickets for a raffle when we hit our referral limit. We will be giving away a free omakase box on this channel. So stay tuned for that. But until then, I will see you all next week for more Adventures in Middle Earth, some more Baldur's Gate. And until then, may the road go ever onward and onward. Bye, guys.